All right. Well, welcome. I am honored to be the host of the CoCreative NoCode office hours, episode number 90. And Tonya wanted me to make everyone aware. Don't forget, office hours happen every single day of the week, Monday through Friday. And if you want, you can watch the replays on YouTube on the CoCreative NoCode YouTube channel. Did I get that right, everyone?
I'm loving the serial killer setup you've got with the blacked out walls and everything.
Oh yeah, I love it. Maybe I should call it that. I like that, the serial killer setup. Nice. Yes, I am in the dark. I feel like Batman or something, So
You've got the deep voice going on. It's all good, man.
Yeah.
How's it for you?
Not bad. Just some crazy stuff going on lately the past few months, just overcoming some health problems, and ended up stepping down from my role at Revetize to try and focus on my health. Let's see, I'm getting a message. Sorry, just a second.
I see Brittany here. I don't think I've met Brittany before. Brittany, are you new to NoCode or CoCreative? Sorry.
Yes. So this is like my third time being on, but I've been using Bubble for maybe 2 months now. So I'm still
awesome.
new to the whole thing.
Are you building anything specific, or?
I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Are you building anything specific, or are you just trying out Bubble for now?
No, I'm actually building a craft app. It's basically something like a replica of an Instacart grocery shopper, or like a Uber app or something, where small business owners, like a lot of the business owners that are on Etsy, they have a shop on Etsy, that they can come to my app to get freelancers to help them with certain orders. Like, say if they have a lot of orders and it's getting too much for them to handle as by themselves, then they can go into the app and request a work order to be done, and the freelancer will complete the order and ship it out for them. So it will help small businesses grow within themselves.
You're like adding on to the whole gig economy thing, where someone started a gig thing, but they've got too much and they need extra capacity. That's a great idea. I love it. Are you have you got a bug or something that they can help with today?
Yes. So I've been working on the same bug. I don't know. I think you may have been on last night or the day before. There's something going. I don't know if it's with Bubble, but she told me to ask today about displaying photos with the multi-file uploader. We uploaded a new uploader yesterday called Uppy, but it still did not work. And the photos are being saved on a database, but it's not showing up on the on the workflow or the actual page. Yes.
Yeah, can we take a look at it?
Sure, I will share my screen.
Awesome, thanks.
By the way, I used Uppy for quite a bit, and I just switched over to another uploader. They've got a weird system where it uploads to Uppy and it doesn't upload straight to the database. So you then have to send a workflow to upload to the database. There's a weird system with that one. I'm currently using a different one. So if this one has a struggle for you, there's another one that I can recommend. But for now, I'm sure Jordan can help you.
Okay, so I'm going to show you the problem that I'm having. So on this page, this is where I want the photos to upload here. And I have so I have the repeating cell and the repeating groups, and we have it as a current page user's portfolio image. And all of these images are coming from the multi-file uploader here, or either the Uppy one. I still have both of them on here because this is the one I was using first. So we either can use it through this route, how if you can drop your photos here, have it set to current users portfolio files. And then this repeating group is of type of content is file, multi-file uploader value. And then once you hit the save button, the workflow is supposed to save the images from the portfolio image and then reset the inputs, hide the pop-up, and then refresh the page. But once the page is refreshed, there aren't any photos showing. So I will show you that in the actual preview.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the design and preview. Okay, so this is a mock profile that I made for a business owner. And see, there's supposed to be a photo showing here, but there's nothing there. So I'm going to delete that just for the time being and add pictures and see, add a few photos.
That's not Uppy though, is it? That's just
No.
uploaded by Bubble.
Right. I have this other add pictures button over here is the Uppy one. So I wanted to try both of them. Yeah. So it's refreshing the page now, but there aren't any pictures showing. And then she told me to go to the database to see whether the photos were actually being saved there under the user. So when I go to, this is the person that was running. So
yeah,
they aren't, you see they're here, but there's nothing showing there.
Yeah. What
Just tap C there. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
The C, the right.
Huh?
Yeah. Hit that C button there. Just set SEE to the right of the photo. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Doesn't have any style information associated with it. And can you go back to the page we were just on?
Okay. Oh, I have this little pop-up thing up here. Okay.
Oh, cool. No worries. The portfolio image. What is that data type?
That data type is a user. I have it under the users.
Oh yeah, and then can you go to the user data type real fast?
Okay.
And the portfolio image, or sorry, yeah, under the user, the portfolio image is a list of images. Okay. And can you go back to the design tab? And yeah, go to that repeating group that's not working. And can you click on the entire repeating group? So it looks like, okay, so the current user's portfolio image, so it's a list of images, so that's good. And then can you go to the group itself within the cell within the first cell there? Current cell's image, okay. So I'm wondering if,
I think we should check the workflow where you click save it and see what happens in that workflow, if that's possible.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm wondering, because it seems to me that in the pop-up workflow, you were working with files, and in the repeating group, you're working with images, and it might be getting a little bit hung up on the difference between the files and the images. I don't know. That's just a guess. I could be wrong.
So do we want to try to change it to image?
Let's just start edit workflow from there and see.
Yeah. So make changes to current user. You're adding the whole value here.
It's not, because it's a list, isn't it? So you need to set list rather than add.
Yeah. So
it needs to be add list.
Yep. Add list.
Set list.
Yeah.
Set list.
Yeah, or set. Is this something that they'll keep coming back to add more and more photos, or is this?
They will add more photos to it.
So add list, is that correct, Calum?
I think this is the first time they're doing it right, so it would be set list for the first time and then add to the list thereafter.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it matters.
I've made this mistake before, and
Does it?
Tonya has always corrected me, and I've
Oh.
always done set list, and Tonya's corrected me to set list.
Okay.
I've got through my mind, I've got what would Tonya do, and I'm seeing set list. So I think
Nice.
give
Okay.
set list a go, and then-
One thing to mention there is that if you set a list, you will override whatever
Yes.
was previously there.
So
Yes.
how do you, can we make another action
So
or?
Yes.
I think it will be better to set to add a list, and if the user wants to delete something, that they delete each one per one. So
there's no
anytime that they
existing
upload some-
list. There's no existing list of images to start with, so you need to set the list for this one, and then if they need to edit the list, then you would add to the list or remove from the list. So then this is the first list we're creating, so it's set list. Isn't it?
But you can
Okay.
add a list even if it is the first time.
Yeah. For me, I always thought that you could just add it, but maybe not.
Give
If
it a go.
Callum's,
No,
if
give
Calum's
it a go.
right,
I may be wrong. Let's give it a go.
From what I understand, it's add list first, then set list, because set list is where you're making the change, and adding is where you're actually initially inputting something.
So
yeah,
can we
set
do
list.
both?
Set list basically erases the whole list and sets it to whatever you're putting,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
add list adds to the existing list. So
No, but don't do both because
yeah, don't do both. Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah,
I
Callum,
mean, this will
Calum may be right. I'm curious to see if he's right, but
Yeah,
No. So what I'm saying here is so step one is make changes. It's not add. So I've got this with my posting system on my app, where when they click create a post, it creates a draft post, and then they are changing things within that existing post. Here we are making changes to a thing, not creating a new thing. Therefore, I think it's set list rather than add list.
okay.
okay. So if that's the case, then the way you could just have the best of both worlds is because if they right now as it stands, if they set a list and then tomorrow they come back and say, no, I want to add some more pictures, then it will erase their original set of pictures. And it'll just set the list to the new list that they just uploaded. So what you could do is go to that event button, save is clicked, the big square. Yeah. And only when the current users, what's that?
Profile image.
Yeah. Profile image, first item is empty.
Okay.
And then right click on that event again and copy, and then click here to add event and down to that bottom square and right click and paste, and then do this one when it's not empty, and then go to the first step of that action when it's not empty
Okay.
and add list.
Okay.
That way, the button, when they click it, it will check real quick and say, okay, do they have any images? If they don't, then we're going to set it. If they
Right.
do, then we're going to add to that list. So that will hopefully accommodate for what Calum was saying and
Okay.
not have the downside of erasing the list. So now the question is, let's see if that worked. Let's just give it a
Okay.
test. And if not, I have a couple other ideas, but
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna just delete that and let's try again.
is that your family?
Yes, it is.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, so that didn't work at all. Okay. So
Why don't we check the
you want to check Uppy?
debugger?
yeah, maybe hit the inspect button in the bottom right
Okay.
and go to that little drop down next to the stop button right there. And what's the repeating group called again? Type in the repeating group's name.
I can't remember. Hold on. I don't know what the name of it is.
No
I hate
problem.
to do a Tonya here, but any chance it's privacy rules related?
Okay.
What's
so
that?
group-
I hate to do a Tonya, but any chance it's privacy rules related? But,
Oh yes,
Um,
yes. That very well could be.
You want me to check
Well,
that?
it'll
one?
show in the step-by-step in the debugger, if there'll be a red alert on the right if there's a privacy problem, at least often, not always.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Image. It says invisible. So what does that mean? That's
So I'm curious. Oh, so the data source is currently empty. Can you click on that empty right there?
okay.
Yeah, right there. And it's supposed to grab the current page user. So click on that real quick, just to make just to see. Yeah. Okay. So it's grabbing. Is that the user you want? That's who you're viewing. Okay, great. So it's not that. So go to portfolio image and it's empty for whatever reason. So that makes me wonder if maybe it is a privacy. Good call, Calum. So maybe if you go into the data, privacy. So if this user is the current user, then you can view all fields, find this in searches, view attached files. What about so that shouldn't be the issue.
No, that should be fine because it says view all fields for anyone else. That should be fine.
Yeah. Can you go to
one thing? Have you tried database triggers? Maybe because can you go to the logs 1 second, please?
You said go to
in this menu bar at the left, the last item, logs, data styles there, server logs, and clicks set like maybe 3 minutes or 4. How much time have we, since we did that? Maybe 5. Let's add 5. Only replace the word two. Okay. 5
oh,
minutes.
sorry.
Don't worry.
Okay.
And click search, please. Okay, something is removing. Make change to user, remove. Do you see that there is a remove action?
I see it.
Click on that where it says make changes to user right there. What is that?
That's why it's adding them and then removing it. That's why.
Where
Can you move the inspector there so I can see the event? What event is causing that? I'm just curious. If the trash if the trash is clicked. Okay.
This was another workflow that you triggered there, but because we didn't click that.
Yeah.
So delete that entire workflow to start with, then run the workflow again and see if it works.
But
we won't be able to remove anything, but we can see that that's what's causing the issue.
Maybe you can disable meanwhile.
Yes.
Click on the when icon Fafa trash there, and at the bottom right, the disable workflow.
Okay.
And check that at the right there. But I don't think it is this causing that. Can you go again to the logs? Also, please, to scroll down a little bit more. Can you scroll down? There. 1 second, scroll up, please. Scroll. Thing to change, portfolio, remove. Okay, scroll down, please. Okay, there is setting a list, but it is like an empty list. I don't see any
right here
things there. Can you scroll down a little bit more?
And see, first item is empty.
Scroll down a little bit more, please. This is also something. Can you click there again, please, to check this one? Okay, this is the same one.
She didn't. I have a question about what we just saw. Since nobody clicked on the trash icon, why is that remove action showing up in the log at all?
We really click it there. After we tested.
It was clicked. Okay.
Yeah. Can you scroll
down? So my
my
question is, because the removes is first, is that saying that that's the first action that's being taken, or?
Because that means that everything's been saved because it's removing a shitload of things.
Right.
So it means that the pictures must have been uploaded in order for it to remove them in the first place.
Yeah.
Right.
Can you scroll down a little bit more, please?
Okay, that's as far as it's going.
Yeah.
Could you
Can
try? Could you go to that
Try
pop?
again.
Oh, sorry, Juan. Did you have something else?
No, just to check again, run the workflow again to go again to the server logs and check what happened. But
Yeah.
and this is the original multi-file uploader from Bubble, or
Yes.
this is another one?
No, this is the
Okay.
one from Bubble.
Oh, one important thing. We are logged in, because maybe if we are not logged in, we cannot save on that. Oh yeah, log out.
Yeah,
we're logged in.
Okay.
Mhm. Okay, so let's try it again. I'm gonna use different pictures this time, just in case, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
like-
before clicking the save button, can you check the step by step in the debugger, please?
So it's
So go down
uploading
here and
in.
then
Yeah.
click it first.
Before clicking the save button, can you click the step by step, please?
Okay.
So that repeating group is showing them, which is good.
Yeah, can you click the save button there? There.
Okay.
Okay. So this was not run because the list is not empty.
Yep.
Okay. Click run next, please. Okay, so
Just to
it
confirm,
is
the
empty.
data,
okay, it is
just to
empty.
confirm that the database is definitely set up for it to be a list of images. It's not a
Yeah,
single image,
check
right?
that.
Okay, cool. Just check.
Okay, so we have. Can you click one of these elements, please?
The one of
The blue ones. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Value, the word value there, and copy one of them and paste it on the browser. Copy. You may delete maybe the last space and things like that in order to work.
Oh.
Paste.
Oh, why isn't it?
Paste there. And yeah, delete that comma, please. And okay. So it is uploaded to the Amazon server, the stream bucket. And can you click again on run next, please?
Okay.
Reset. Can you click on run next? I think maybe.
Is it resetting
maybe the
before
reset
it manages to make the change?
Maybe the reset relevant inputs is triggered sometimes before the make change to the current user. Maybe can be this. So maybe
Try
we can
add a 3-second pause between them.
Or add a condition after that. Can you click run next?
Oh.
And finish the. Maybe here it will work because of the debugger. Maybe sometimes it's different the behavior. So yeah, run next.
Yeah.
Okay, no. Let's delete this reset relevant input for now, or disable it, or add a condition workflow. No, once in the workflows, don't worry. Button save.
You can enable that trash workflow if you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
And before we do that, can you go to the logs to check if this list was saved? Can you search again? Okay, we didn't set a list. Do you see that we don't set any list there? So basically we didn't save nothing there.
Maybe hit zoom in on this workflow on the top one. Okay, it's not.
Can you go to the workflows, please? There, and when button save is clicked in the first line there, we need to do it in both.
I'm looking for the save. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's reset relevant inputs there.
Delete
only when, or maybe you can add a condition. Only when, yeah. Result of step 1. Can you type result?
if you're
Okay,
refreshing the
it
page,
doesn't allow us to do that. Okay, can you delete that reset relevant inputs, please? And we can add this condition when you open the pop-up before this, but
Before
we can,
this one.
yeah, we can add it later. When button add picture is clicked,
Okay.
yeah, so you can reset the pop-up first, so it will refresh, it will
Okay.
reset that inputs. Reset.
Okay.
You can type reset there.
Reset relevant inputs. Or
I would prefer to
reset-
reset the complete pop-up, yeah,
Okay.
and add it the name there, like
The uploader, correct?
the pop-up. What is the name of the pop-up? Pop-up D.
No, this one is Uppy.
Oh, this is another one.
Yeah, this one is
So-
the pop-up for the multi-file.
Okay.
upload.
So, but you are showing another pop-up, so we need to add this step in the other one. Here maybe can be
Oh,
reset
okay.
pop-up D,
Okay,
and
this
in
is
the other
Uppy
button
pop-up.
add pictures. You can copy this one and change the name and then paste this there.
Okay, I'm getting a little confused. I think this button, so you said do what now?
This one. This is the
Yeah.
pop-up that you want to. Okay, can you
Right.
paste the workflow, the reset action there? Right click. You copied it or not? I'm not sure. Yeah, copy this one. Paste it there. And don't forget to in the other one
Mhm.
to change to pop-up D. Okay,
Oh,
it is
okay.
too. Yeah. Okay, so now you can go to the save button there, to when button save is clicked
Okay.
in there. Okay, and in the other one too, to delete the reset relevant inputs.
Okay.
In the other button save is clicked in the other action. Yeah, delete red. Okay, it is normally better to reset the pop-ups or the inputs when you open the pop-up than when you are closing it, because maybe sometimes this can cause issues.
Okay. So we
Because
can-
JavaScript will run actions as the fast as it thinks it will be better or faster.
Right.
So maybe it runs first the reset relevant inputs action before you save it. Can you
Okay.
but check the issues first? Maybe
Oh,
we have
okay.
there a couple of there were before these two issues.
You said to do what now?
At
Two
the
issues
top
at the-
bar.
the red
The
the red two issues at the top.
Oh, that's for the, oh, maybe
Oh,
not.
this is on another page. No, yes, this is
Wait,
here.
can't use it by
Can you
yourself.
click there?
Ah,
Text.
Okay, that looks like it.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's
That's
it. Yeah. So you're sending it a
trying to
list of
change, yeah, it's text.
yeah, you're sending it a list of file URLs, but it's looking for a list of images.
Yeah.
So
So in the, when it says I'm sending it files, the portfolio image is set as a image in the database. So but the multi-file uploaded
The
Is
actual
file.
files. Okay.
group it's in.
Okay.
so
Can you
so
go
could,
to the yeah.
oh sorry, go ahead, Juan.
No. Can you
No, go for
Okay.
it. Go for it. Sorry, you're on a roll.
right click? No, don't worry. Right click on that. Oh no. How do you do?
So
Can you go
do,
to that multi-file uploader in the design?
But that's it. It's saying it's a text, not list of text. It's a text.
Yeah.
So it's looking for a list of images. But even if it's a list of text, it will still return the list of URLs in a text format. For some reason, it's looking for the singular rather than the list of. So somewhere in there is a group that has a single text element rather than a list of.
Yeah.
Where are you
Maybe-
seeing a text, Calum?
In the
under
issues.
the issues.
But right now it's
I-
a text.
Oh, but
I'm thinking that maybe the multi-file uploader, you change it, maybe the name or something. Maybe can we spec that in element? So
It's not
check.
well. It's not the name of the multi-file uploader. It's probably the group that it's held in is something different. The multi-file uploader works anyway. It's the something it's held in for some reason.
So basically, right here is holding files and is looking for images, correct?
So that repeating group is working because it's expecting a file, and the other one is not working because it's expecting an image.
Okay, so do I need to change this to files? But how would that show? I don't know how.
Yeah.
So
So
change the file because even it will still try and render the file as an image because you've got an image element.
yeah. So what you'll want to do is, if you go back into the data real quick, and you're going to have to, go into the user data types and go down to the list of images. What was that called again? Portfolio images.
Oh, can you do something? Can you click on show deleted fields, please? In the gray above, show deleted files.
Oh, I see.
Fields, sorry, at the right. Show deleted fields. Maybe
okay.
You have in the past. Can you scroll down? Maybe we have portfolio files. No, it is not. Because sometimes you can create a field and you're still saving things there, but you deleted it. But yeah, no. Can you change just in case the name of that field, please?
Okay.
Add whatever you want.
The
list of images or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
And in the workflow, can you go to the workflow tab? List of images, set list, and okay. Can you in the multi-file uploader? Can you go to the at the top repeating group image? Can you click there in the header bar?
Oh, up here?
Yeah. Can you type multi, please? Multi-file uploader A and B. So we have only two. Okay. Can you click on the A, please? 1 second. Current portfolio files. Okay. Okay. Can you? Yeah. Okay. Now I know that. So, can you are uploading files instead of images? Can you in the left menu bar above visual elements? In the left menu bar there, search for new elements.
So where now? Right here? No, that's not.
Yeah. Scroll a little bit more. Scroll a little bit more. Okay, so give me a second to check something here on my side. Give me a second.
I'm okay with trying to use Uppy instead of this file uploader because this one is, I don't know.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. I was just, I was talking.
Oh, you were talking.
Sorry. So I think, the issue is you either need to change the data type to file. If you're okay with that, then that will work. Or you need to change this file uploader to an image uploader. So one or the other. The quickest probably would be just if you go into the data and change. So go back to the user, and then the list of images. If you just delete it, and then create a whole new data type, called new list of images, or I don't know, something so we know that it's the new one,
Right.
or final list of image, or what, I don't know, whatever you want to say.
I'm gonna put new portfolio images.
Cool.
Something like that. Okay. And then type
yeah, and make it a
list
list.
column.
Yeah. And now go back to that workflow. And if you hit this new field that we're just doing right now, and do it, and then check hide and refresh. No, those are irrelevant. Go to the other event, because now we have 2 events for the same button. So, and that conditional is now, we just deleted that thing. So you're going to have to say,
on this one.
It is-
or-
yeah.
It
So
is
the
weird
current,
because I did the same test on my side and it works with the file uploader, multi-file uploader.
weird. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
curious. Yeah, let's see if this works, and if not,
Yeah.
that is weird. So if you go current users, now, yeah, exactly. Click right there, and then change it to that new field we just made. New, or what'd you call it? I can't even remember. Yeah, new portfolio images. Yeah, and then do the same on the other event. And then the make changes to the current user you did not yet change. Did you? Yeah, this one. And see if that does the trick. Now you have 4 issues. Why do we have 4 issues? Let's see here. Make
It's
changes.
not a possible option.
Oh, yeah.
That's a trash can.
The
Okay.
trash can, yeah. So the new field we just made.
What's this one?
You might as well just
Oh,
fix them
same
all
thing.
now.
Yeah. Okay. And this is still.
Yeah, that's still doing that. Hover over value where it says multi-file uploaders value. Bubble's not. Let's see, why is Bubble not giving us? Maybe
I just did a complete test with this and works. It is super weird.
that
Yeah,
is
honestly,
weird.
Maybe so.
Honestly,
Maybe I need to just delete the entire. I don't know what's going on. I think if I just start over with the whole process of making the multi-file uploader and the repeating group, I think I just need to start over because
That is.
maybe a bug on my actual.
Oh, one second.
Sure.
This
It's
is
worth
your
it.
profile. I mean, you are
Yes.
viewing the profile of the logged in user.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we try one quick thing before that?
Okay.
So maybe right click on the blue text multi-file ace uploaders value or whatever. And
Clear and
yeah,
add it
clear.
again,
Yep.
maybe.
Yeah,
Sometimes
exactly.
it is
Sometimes it just gets a little bit confused.
multi-file.
And make
A.
sure you're getting the right multi-file uploader value. There
Yeah,
we go.
It
Cool.
was a bubble book.
Yeah, just
And
a
do
little
the same
bug.
with the other one.
Yeah, I see it.
Was
now.
just to clear it and add it
Oh.
again.
Okay. So let's-
Clear it.
Oh,
Clear.
clear.
And do this.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
God, bubble.
hopefully this will do the trick. Oh, I guess you
Yeah.
need to first go to your repeating group again.
Okay.
Well, you can check to see if this works first if you want, real quick.
Okay.
There may be one last thing we need to do, but let's see.
Oh, I still have it
You can
on.
just hit run, yeah.
Oh, hold on. I have to actually get this. Okay. Let's try this and hope this works. I'm just
Just-
going to add anything.
Yeah. Oh, my kids would love that thing.
The bounce house, yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
All right. Please.
Please.
Oh man.
Okay.
No?
So yeah, go to the repeating group and you just got to change it. I think right now it's still images. So you just got to change
Oh,
the
yeah.
file.
Okay.
So change the
Oh,
data.
you are pulling.
Oh, and you're pulling the wrong
Oh,
data
yeah,
type.
Okay. So
Yeah. So just do the new data
New.
type and see if that works.
Yeah, and refresh.
Okay. There we
Yeah.
go.
Yes. Nice
And
work.
something that I wanted to mention about the save flow. I mean, I think that will be better for users to, for example, if you add up pictures there and you, I mean, I think we can have only one workflow that it is add list. So anytime that the user click add pictures and they add their own pictures, you will add more. And when you want to delete, you only click that icon to delete only the specific picture.
Right.
So you keep more clean your workflows and you don't need to maintain more things at the future.
So you're saying to only have it as add list and not set list?
But for this scenario, because I'm doing that, when you click add pictures, can you click again add pictures?
Sorry, one, can I just check, did we manage to fix this?
Sorry?
Did we manage to fix the issue, or are we still looking at it?
Yeah, we fixed it.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. What was the issue? Sorry, I was away for a second. What was the issue?
A bubble issue. It was a bubble bug that the expression multi-file uploader aids value was pulling something weird. So we basically cleared it and added again the expression, and it worked.
Okay, so the multi-file uploader had a bubble.
Can you? Yeah. Can you? Can you?
You want me to add some more pictures just to see?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and add it and save. The issue with that is that this may overwrite the previous pictures that the user have in the past. So maybe that can be weird for them.
Well, I don't think it will because of that conditional, but if we don't need that conditional, then yeah, I guess it's optimized to not, it'd be the most optimal way to get rid of it if possible.
Okay, but because of the condition, but if you use only one workflow with add list, you will have the same result with one workflow to maintain, and you can delete only the ones that you want. But
yeah, and I agree with that, Juan. Calum was saying that for some reason he was coming across bugs that for the first, if ever you were adding list of files for the very first time, that you have to say set list. I never knew that. I agree with you, Juan, but Calum said he came across things where set list is necessary on the first attempt.
So set list, tell you what, can I share my screen? I'll show you why. I'll show you where.
Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah.
So, and Tonya helped me set this up. So I'm watching The Apprentice.
Yes.
Now we know.
It's always great to watch. It's always great to watch estate agents be dickheads. So I've got this uploader B here, which is a different plugin. And you know, I'm just going to preview it so I can show you what it is. But the way the way I've got it set up is, I hate it when you share your screen, it goes really slowly. So write a post, there we go, and then post here, start the workflow. Okay, here we go. So insert page. Right, here we go. So when you first click write a post, it creates a post, but it sets the post as a draft. So when we show things in the feed, it only shows it as only shows live posts. Then when we post it, it's post links, and then it goes add list, extract a no, sorry, that's something different. Where are we? Make change to post. Like, shares, dislikes. It's in here somewhere, I promise.
No worries.
Reset shares and I love this when you're looking through your own app and you can't work out where you're actually doing something, but it's good. Anyway, so we go to worldwide and then we do post here. And then we want to add images and videos, tap to add it. By the way, I would really recommend using this plugin. is really, really good. And it gives
What's
a
it
really
called?
great, I will show you in a second. So have a look. Let's just find some weird pictures. There we go. Open those. And it gives you these
Oh,
previews here.
Looks great.
Yeah. It's so much better than the multi-file uploader for Bubble. And the thing that annoys me about the Bubble one is there's no way to customize it. But these ones give you this, and then if you upload a video, it just does a file. You can choose whether it's one on the left, one on the right, or just one in a row. Anyway,
Amazing. What's
So
that plugin called?
that plugin is, I feel like it's a new one because I only did it the other day. I think it's this one.
okay. From Zerocode.
Amazing.
It's a Zerocode one.
Great job, Zerocode. If you're watching, great job.
Absolutely. But then you have, so this is a different step to what you do with a multi-file uploader from Bubble, where you actually have to, so this stores it in a, I don't know, like in a weird state where it's not uploaded to the database yet, but it's stored in the plugin itself. You then click upload to post and they start uploading. And then you can see upload complete when each.
I like that. I like that.
But would I be able to
don't-
use that with this plugin with what I'm trying to do on my page?
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
totally.
then so I've got it to disappear when the upload is complete, and then you can see here all of the things that I've actually uploaded, and then I can click the delete icon to delete each of them. If I need to upload more things, I just delete them all, and then go back to the same thing.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's so much easier, and I feel like it gives a better UX if you can show the person what they're actually uploading while they're doing it.
Right.
rather than-
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's a way better way to do it.
Yeah. So then it basically stores them in here. So you are uploading this to the draft post when you so this uploads it here to the plugin, and then you click upload to post, which uploads those URLs. And obviously now, because I'm trying to do it, it's decided to stop working on me because that's just how Bubble works. There you go. Yeah. So do two more. Upload to post. So this will upload them, and then it will disappear when it does it. There you go.
Amazing.
Okay, it's not, I feel like it's done because I haven't done the do it every time. So I've set it on there. So when the upload is complete, when it's 100%, make it disappear, which is why I did it the first time, not the second time, which has given me a really good thing to update on my thing. Anyway, and then, yeah, so you just pull the URLs from that plugin, and it basically returns a list of URLs from the images that are uploaded. Let's try this one. So there they are. Upload. Disappears. There they are. This is a test. Hashtag. Jordan on office hours. Special advice. And then post. Take a second to load. Oh yeah, I'm on Tonya's account, and there we go. So it uploads the URLs. I'll be honest, I completely forgot why I was showing you guys this, but yeah, that works. And yeah, it was. I feel like it was that plugin. It was definitely one of the Zerocode ones that did it. Generally, so Zerocode, and I think you also did you have Uppy as well? Was that right, Brittany?
Yes, I would prefer to use something other than a multi-file uploader.
Yeah, so the multi-file uploader is really ugly. The weird thing with Uppy though, and every other plugin that isn't Uppy, because Uppy is developed by Bubble, is it stores the files to its own plugin, and then you have to upload those files to the post or to whatever you're posting. Whereas the file uploader, you can do it attached to auto binding directly to the data type. And also with Uppy Uploader, there's a weird issue. So this got fixed because I messaged the developer of Uppy Uploader. They've now introduced a new, it's in the workflow, so element actions. You have to reset the Uppy Uploader, because even if you try and use the Uppy Uploader again, it will show it as blank, but it will still maintain the previous Uppy Uploader's URL list. So every time you try and upload again, it'll add on top of that. So every time you have to do it, you have to do, when you click like post or add to whatever, you also have to do reset Uppy Uploader. Otherwise it will maintain it and you'll end up like with every single thing you've ever uploaded to it. Uppy upload is great, but I've moved away from it now, and I would definitely suggest using the Zerocode one because it's way better. It's better UI.
Which one?
Zerocode, I think it was multi-file uploader advanced or complete or something like that.
Ah, okay, thanks.
Yeah, that was a great UX.
This one here. So, okay, so it's a great UX and there's some good stuff about it, but also at the same time, if I go to warehouse where I'm storing information, if I do multiple files, there's no way to control the height of the plugin. So if I do that now, I've obviously done that with far too few. Add some more. It covers other stuff and there's no way of controlling the height of it. So you can't say the maximum height of this should be within this group. So if you do it with so obviously this, it's not including the preview image, but if you include the preview image, then obviously it covers the whole page. So it looks great. There's some drawbacks. The bubble uploader is probably the best one just for what it does. But if you can work your UI around the plugin, then this is probably the best one to use.
Nice. That's a good analysis. Seems like every decision you make in Bubble has pros and cons, huh?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Like life.
Yeah, and life. Yeah. Yes, true.
Also something very important to mention is that, for example, plugins like this one from Zerocode and recognized agencies or developers are good to use, but you may be careful to don't install too much of them because also may slow your app or cause conflicts between each other. Maybe if they are the same creator or like both from Zerocode or things like that. But the most important thing is to don't use like non-recognized bubblers plugins or something because cannot be updated and you construct your whole app and then you realize that doesn't work anymore and you cannot do something. So
very true. Yep. Plugins are amazing, but don't get too carried away with them. Only use the ones that are necessary and supported well. Yep. Agreed wholeheartedly. Cool. Okay. So anyone else have any bugs or ideas or things they'd like to?
I've got an interesting challenge.
Okay. Yes.
Can you guys see?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a little matching thing. Plants do better when they're with certain other plants. They're called companion plants. So this is going to be a little kind of widget or a game to help you, just take some guesses and have some fun and maybe learn something.
Cool.
So those are three companion plants.
Hang on, Jay, you've got to explain your app first. Tell everyone what your app is and then go into the game itself. It's a really cool app.
An app for home gardeners. It's called Garden Brain. And it's going to be launching in about I think next week. Okay, so when you have 3 of the right ones, you get a success message. Ignore this, it's just something I was playing with. So you had to put the 3 in. Right now, how it works is each of these images, these are from an option set. And how it works is this. So custom state contains this and these other 2, then you get a success message. The problem, of course, is that there's going to end up being like what, 800-900 possible combinations before I'm done. And I don't want to have 800 or 900 of these. So instead of the way I've done it, I'm trying to figure out how to do it using the database, and then trying to do a condition where if at least 2 of the things in the database go with the main thing, main plant, companion plants, if at least 2 of the things in the list go with this, then you get the success message. But I don't know how to do 2 of the lists, like in a workflow or a match. I don't know how to make that happen.
Yeah. So at least 2 of their choices. Why not all 3?
One of them needs to be the main plant, like what goes good with tomatoes or asparagus, it just can't be random. Because then there's not a logical success message that says these two are good with asparagus.
Okay, so
And there's going to be another step, which I'm not going to ask about today, where they're assigned the main plant and they have to match two. But I figure if I can understand this part, I can probably figure out the next few steps.
So I think you need to do when condition is true, and then do a count on that. And then if the count is above something, then you don't display the message. But if it is 2, then you display the message.
yes, you're onto something.
Yeah, maybe when the list intersects.
Yeah, that's a good thought. Question, Jay, is it always just going to be 2, or could they add 10?
No, it'll be 2 at a time.
2 at a time. Okay, so they'll be given a vegetable or a plant or something,
Yeah.
and then they have to choose 2 that match well with it.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I think what these guys were saying is right. So basically, you could say, I think you're on the right track of saying, okay, here are all of the vegetables that mesh well with this, and here are all the vegetables that mesh well with that. And so it may be that you, how many starting out vegetables are there, or what's the word I'm
Right
looking
now, I don't know, maybe 40 or 70. I haven't counted. How many will there be? More.
for? Yeah. So so what you'll probably want to do is have the main vegetable as a data type, so the one data type called vegetable or whatever it is. I don't know what you're already calling it, and then on that data type, can you go to that data type?
Here it is.
Sorry.
Okay,
I
companion
will
plants.
leave you. I will need to do something else for a
Oh,
meeting,
okay.
but maybe if I finish it earlier, I will connect again.
Thank you, Juan.
Okay,
Good
bye-bye.
to meet you.
Bye.
Thank you. We'll see you.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so the companion plant is that the initial vegetable that they're displayed?
No, that's the main plant.
Okay, yeah. And then you have enemies and you have companion plant.
Right. I want to make this work before I worry about the other one. Will be the same, but the opposite. Oh, God,
Okay.
freaking password.
So what I would probably do is, what is the categories is or whatever? The
Option sets. It's an option set, and it looks like this. Each one has attributes.
okay. If I'm trying to think here. Oh, so each one is a different, yeah, okay. So yeah, so you're doing it right then. So go back to the main data type, sorry. And it's a list of the companion plant sets is the list of ones that jive well with it, and the enemies is the list of ones that do not, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, so all you have to do then, yeah, you're totally on the right track. Then all you have to do is just when it's dropped in there, is that workflow? Let me see.
Nope, that's this workflow, and it has this condition that when the custom state contains the main plant and contains the 2 that were dropped, then you get a success message.
Okay. So I guess what I don't know exactly how you have it all structured, but what I was thinking is when it's dropped on, you look and say, when the main plant's list of companion plants contains, or excuse me, when the custom states list count is 2, and when the custom states list is in. So yeah, let me see. So when the custom states list count as 2, so that you don't care until they've put 2 in, correct? You don't have any result happen until they put 2 in.
Right.
Okay, so when the count is 2, and when the list sorry, go back and say so go back to the second one. The first one's fine. The second one, yeah, erase that and start over there and say when the main vegetables so yeah, you got to find that main vegetable somehow. So does that give you the main vegetable then?
Yeah, in this case.
In this case, okay. So can you dynamically set it instead of just making it only asparagus? Can you just say?
Yeah, it's going to be the next question I have, which is how to this. Remember, I said ignore this.
Oh
I want to be able to populate this dynamically.
Yes.
And then have this be the main plant by default for the moment, and then have the other 2 match it. But you know, I figured that was a next step because I can figure that out on my own.
Yeah. I think maybe just do a state with it and say, when this state or do a search for companion plants, and then can you go back into that search
where I was?
Yeah, that last search. So the main plant would just be that state of whatever that main vegetable is. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, but for now we can just test it with asparagus, and then and then say the list that it jives well with companion plant sets. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah. So click that, and then contains list. Is there a contains list? Yeah, and then say the state that they just the 2 that the user just selected, and then that should that will be the correct one, and then you can do a doesn't contains list or whatever for an incorrect. So you just have 2 workflows. Maybe I'm misunderstanding how the setup is, but I think that should work.
Okay, it seems like it might.
Okay.
It worked.
Sweet.
Amazing.
Yes.
So let me just quickly look at what we did again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so testing, we did a search, contains list. Okay, so it doesn't have to contain the whole list. Let's just contain elements of the list.
Yeah. So basically you're saying, okay, my total large exhaustive list of all the plants that jive well, does it contain this small list the user just supplied me? If yes, then great, they did it right. If no, then it's wrong.
Okay, so to get the custom state to set the main plant, then like right now, I just tried this morning. It didn't work. It's just a group with an image in it. And I tried to do a do when this group is not empty or something like that, but it didn't work because in the workflow, this group is not accessible.
Okay.
So when I go to do when, I can't get to the group. But what I'd like to do is the same thing. Is the same thing I did here. I mean, I wonder, can I set up a drop zone in a drop zone? Like, and let the user pick the main plant themselves and then pick the companion plants instead of assigning it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't see why not. But
you can.
Why would it be
make it very, very, very complex workflow to work out theirs plus workflow. I feel like,
wouldn't it just be 2 different drop zones? Or
I mean, yeah, I could design it so that this is above it, or I could put a green field behind both. So yeah, you're right. It doesn't have to be in the drop zone. Good point.
Okay.
All right,
Cool.
I think that's enough to get me to the next step. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem.
By the way, Jordan, Tonya says she thinks you look like Alex Jones from InfoWars with your microphone.
What was that?
I don't know if I can take that as a compliment or not.
Oh.
It's all a conspiracy, man.
I'm Alex Jones without this crazy theories. I'll take it like that, I guess. Just kidding.
No code's gonna take over the world, bro. Coding will be gone. Trust me, believe me.
Well, that theory I may believe in. Yeah.
Anyway, look, Jordan, it would be awesome to hear. So you did Revitalize from, sorry, I completely forgot the name, but you did that from no code. It would be awesome to hear how you built that company up on no code, on Bubble, how that happened. And yeah, like it would be amazing to hear about that.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I hate to take away from the co-creative time, but I'm happy to if you guys
I
want.
would very much like to hear that.
Oh, no, absolutely. Now, this is about like building our apps, understanding how they scale, understanding how people start businesses. It would be amazing to hear about how you did it.
Yeah. Happy to. So I guess, I mean, you can ask me questions or I can just spew out all the history if you want, but
can you like give us a run through of it and then just like we'll ask questions, because I'm sure we'll have loads of questions, but just like give us a run through of how you started it, how you built it, where you got to. And I mean, it was like a 7-figure business, so it's a big success story on Bubble.
Yeah, it's done well. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And that's kind of part of the reason I'm starting nocodeadvantage.com, just because I believe that Bubble is a massive game changer for startup founders, and it is amazing. But I hit a lot of roadblocks and I hit a lot of mistakes, and a lot of not just Bubble, not just being good at Bubble, but also a lot of other things need to align for success to happen, you know? And so
I saw one of your posts. I think someone commented the other day about it, and you said there was like one little thing, like you were getting annoyed with the page load speed, and there was like one thing that was making it really, really slow.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I literally had one conditional on one element that was taking up so much server capacity and page load speed, and I fought with it for like months and months and months. And in the early days, and our customers and users were complaining, and it was like, oh, this is, so I talked with my co-founder Richard, and we said, okay, maybe it's time we migrate away from Bubble and go to real code, you know. And in one last ditch effort, I emailed Bubble and said, hey, this is going to kill our ability to grow with you guys. Is there anything, you know, that we can do? And finally, it's funny because several of their devs had taken a look at it and couldn't figure it out. But finally, this one dev, bless his heart, he figured it out, and he said, oh, it's just this conditional, I think, taking up all your page load speed. And I deleted it. It wasn't even necessary. And it totally changed the whole speed factor of our app. So yeah, it's funny how
what was it? Like I'm so interested to know what was that one thing that changed the speed of your app entirely?
It was basically, so I had a big repeating group of all of our customers, and all of, some of our users had, you know, tens of thousands of customers loading. And so we did it in a paginated way. We ended up doing it in a paginated way, but that condition, to be honest, I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. It's funny because it was totally unnecessary. I did not need it at all, but it was just like this nice to have thing that I could totally accomplish the purpose of that condition another way, just as easy. But basically it was, I had different states for whether they were selecting all, like all 20,000, or if they were just selecting all on that current page's view. And that conditional, I'll have to go back and look it up. I have it in my emails. If you want, I can send you, I can do a video or something on it later, but it was basically checking all 20,000 when it didn't need to. and it was loading all 20,000. So it was just taking forever for the page to load, but yeah. So, yeah, but yeah, go ahead.
Would you, so I mean, I've got a thing on my app where like it's a social media app. I want to be able to have people to kind of search for it. If I tap here, search on One Life, here I mean, there's only what 5 people on here at the moment who are, you know, demo users, but are you saying that in order, like, because I'm returning connect profile to a users, now this, like, everyone has a connect profile, so this will return every single user. Are you saying that it's better to find a way to paginate those users so that it doesn't try and return the entire list? Because when you get over 20,000, it's going to make the app incredibly slow, or what was that the kind of issue you're facing?
Yeah, good question. You know what? I don't think it's as big of an issue unless you do it the crazy way I was doing it. It was just, it was honestly just a user error. It wasn't really a bubble error. So like if you do a vertical scrolling repeating group, it loads only the ones that are just, you know, if your vertical scrolling repeating group is a list of 10 or 20 or whatever, it only loads those. So that should be fine. Even if you're doing a search for all 20,000 or 100,000 or whatever, as you scroll, then it loads what it needs. So that's fine. I'll have to go. I need to go back and look. Sorry, go ahead.
Just to dive into that though. So does it only load as far as you go? Is that the same for vertical repeating group as extended vertical? Or
yeah.
Is there a difference between the two?
No, that's the same. And I like extended better because it just gives a little bit of a more of a.
I find it smoother to scroll.
Yeah. Yeah, I like extended better too. If you do full list, then that could cause problems if your full list is large.
So
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I have a question now that we're talking about extended scrolling and vertical scrolling. So
Yeah.
on this page that we have these pictures coming up, and thank you guys so much for helping. I
Yeah.
have it set as an extended vertical scrolling, but it's not doing that. It's just you know, it's just showing, because I've been adding photos while I've been sitting here, but it's just showing all of the photos like on the screen. There's no scrolling method.
Yeah, which is good. So it shows all it can in your current view. And then
Okay.
let's say you have 20,000 photos. Now what it will do, or doesn't have to be 20,000. Let's say you have 100 or 50 or 20 or whatever. If your current view can't contain the number of photos that you're searching for, then as you scroll down, it will automatically just load. And
Okay.
almost like Facebook. If you're scrolling through Facebook, if you scroll really fast, you might notice that it'll hit a stop and then it'll start loading more and then you can keep going. You know what I'm saying? That's what extended vertical scrolling is. It's basically like the Facebook feed.
Got you. All right. Thanks.
Yeah. Good question. No problem. So where were we?
How did you, so I mean, tell us a bit about your app, how you started and then how you grew it. Did you take funding on? Were people open to funding a bubble app? How did that work?
Yeah, good question. So I was working at a solar company with the owner of the solar company is now my partner at Revetize, and he I actually had a solar deal that went sour, and I was trying to sell this big solar system to a client, and she ended up choosing a competitor of ours. And it was a little bit hard for me to take just because the competitor was charging her $10,000 more than I was charging her. And my solar panels degrade at a lot slower rate than her solar panels degrade. It was just a really bad deal for her. And I was trying to convince her, please, you gotta believe me, this is a better deal. But she was just a little bit worried that our company was a little bit smaller, less established, and didn't have very many online reviews. I think we had like 4 online reviews, and 3 of them were family members type thing.
And this was Revetize at the time, yeah?
No, sorry, this was our solar company. This was
okay.
Yeah, and anyways, so we realized, man, online reviews are critical. She chose a totally bad deal just because they had like 500 online reviews and it was a good online presence. So anyways, long story short, we ended up phasing out the solar company for other reasons. And my my now business partner, he said, let's just start a company to help solar companies with online reviews, and what about referrals too? Referrals is huge in the solar industry. And so we decided to start a company that helps with reviews and referrals and promotions and feedback, and basically kind of like a marketing CRM where they can have all their marketing operations and channels all in one and manage all their customers. And anyway,
just for the people who don't know, what was it that Revetize actually did? What was the product and what was it that you're selling?
Yeah, so that was the idea, is help people with online reputation, help them with, if you want, I can just quickly show you real quick. So
that'd be awesome, because there's so many people building like MVPs and trying to start their business, but it's so good to see a business that's actually moved on, started finding clients and actually built on Bubble. So yeah, that'd be amazing to see. Oh
yeah, no problem. Yeah. So it's just revetize.com. And just FYI, so this is just another testament to learn Bubble, study with Tonya, keep coming to these sessions, because at one point you might think, oh yeah, I've got the hang of Bubble. And then I feel like it's an onion. It's so many layers of learning. I've been bubbling for 5 years now or so. And every year it's like, oh, I've got this, I'm an expert, and then you learn more, and then you learn more, and then you learn more. And it's just, so Revetize 1.0 is my terrible, horrible version that I need to delete, but we still have some users using it for for random reasons. Revetize 2.0 is, I rebuilt it entirely. Yeah, so that's just another example of why it matters to make sure you're building optimally.
If that password is 1234, I'm gonna be very disappointed in you.
It is not 1234, but I need to change it. Okay, so basically you can have all your customers in one spot. You can view them. You can view data on them. It's kind of like just a typical CRM. You can see an interaction log of the messages you've sent back and forth between customers. You can then go in and create a campaign that you want to send to your customers. So let's say I want to create, you can start from a template or create from scratch. I'll just create from scratch real quick. And it's kind of like a drip campaign for a multi-channel drip campaign. So you can send texts, emails, you can slip a voicemail into their,
are you using SendGrid for all of this, or is there an API used for this?
Good question. SMS is plevo.com. Email is mailgun.com. Voicemail drop is slybroadcast.com. Penwritten mail is handwritten.com. And a reminder and a push notification. So lots of ways to contact their customers. So let's say,
those are all APIs that you've connected to, like penwritten.com. That's an API you're using, yeah?
Yes, exactly. Yep, they're all APIs. Yeah. So then you can throw in a message template. So let's say a customer just came into my store, and usually right after they leave or right when they're happy, let's say it's a jeweler, right when they bought their diamond ring or whatever, it's something they really want to capitalize on and get a good online review. So they can throw in that. They can throw in a landing page, and I've also built a landing page builder. So it's funny that we kind of have a no code builder built with no code. So you can add text and images. You can add.
Did you see that guy who put the template on Bubble? It was the Bubble UI builder on Bubble. He built the Bubble UI on Bubble. That was crazy. Yeah,
the inception, yes, of no code. No code within no code. So anyways, yeah, a lot of things you can do. I guess I shouldn't drag on with all this, but basically it's just a tool for companies to build landing pages, build review generation campaigns, referral generation campaigns, run promotions if they want to, send a coupon or something to their clients or whatever it might be. So
did you build this from scratch, or was this using something like Canvas or?
No, I built it from scratch. Yeah, I've actually never used Canvas. I want to. I've heard it's awesome, but I just built it from scratch. So
I mean, mate, this looks like, to build this from scratch on Bubble and to do all this stuff is it's incredible.
Thank you. I appreciate that. A lot of nights banging my head against the wall, like, why is this not doing what I want it to do? But it turned out to be worth it. We ended up my business partner is very good at sales, and so he took over kind of the sales aspect, and I took over the dev aspect, and we ran with it. And in 1 year we were doing, I think, 30,000 a month almost in recurring monthly revenue, and we were doing well. And then we applied for Angel Pad. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's kind of like Y Combinator.
Is that like an angel investor kind of platform?
It's a tech accelerator. So this guy here, Tomas Corte, he's awesome. I like him. And he and his wife, that's his wife, Karine. And Tomas was like one of the first hires at Google, and they're very smart with startups and stuff. And they give you some money in exchange for a little slice of your company. And then you go and you learn.
So they're not just no code. They are general startup accelerator, but they went for a no code startup like you guys.
Yes, in fact, they complimented us. They said, hey, we think it's cool that you guys use this new no code thing for your startup. We think it's a new thing that you took advantage of, and it's a growth hack, and we're proud of you. So I was a little bit nervous about telling them, because I was the CTO, and I was just a little bit nervous to tell him, hey, yeah, I don't code at all. So, but he complimented me, and so did a lot of the VCs we met with, and it was good. So we went and met with a lot of people, a lot of VCs, a lot of, big time Silicon Valley people. We met with Sequoia Capital and a lot of people. And
sorry, you met with Sequoia Capital on your app?
Yeah, we pitched them. Yeah. And they did not fund us, but we pitched them.
No, but the fact that they even let you in the door with with a CTO who can't code and is doing no code. The fact that a company like Sequoia Capital, and the fact that an air dev company has been funded by Andreessen Capital to $4.2 million, like, it's really becoming mainstream as a way to get your startup off the ground, right?
It really is, and it's only going to get better. I would say that probably 80% of the investors we met with, and we met with a lot, probably 80% of them were totally fine with Bubble and no code. 20% of them raised their eyebrows a little bit and said, wait a second. I remember one conversation with a venture capital firm where the guy said, wait, you're telling me you're betting your startup on another startup? And I was like, I was a little bit stunned with that question, at first, but
the answer is always that Bubble have said if they ever go out of business, they will release their code base. So you're effectively saying, I'm betting it, but there's a massive insurance policy that I will get all the code I need if they ever go out of business, right?
Yes.
Right.
And when sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
I have a question while we're on this topic, because I've been trying to research, the copyrights, trademarks, patents, and how to get all of that when you don't have your code. So I don't know if, when I researched it, it's not possible really to get a patent or a copyright because you don't have it's not in your
I wouldn't worry about that, because go on Bubbles Academy, and there's like how to create an Uber clone or an Airbnb clone. The value isn't in the line by line, because what we're doing isn't something groundbreaking. Right. Like there's other two-way marketplaces like what you're developing, and there's other sites like what I'm developing. Anybody can copy it. What makes a difference, where the rubber meets the road, is your market position, how you access your market.
Execution, right? It's the way you do it, and
the follow through.
But you also, to my knowledge, you can't patent a set of code. You patent something about it. So
you can copyright it.
Yeah, because if you look at JavaScript, that's owned, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's owned by Oracle. But nobody is saying, oh, well, you've used JavaScript to build your platform, therefore, oh no, we're worried about it, because Oracle own it. It's an open source platform in the same way that Bubble is an open source platform, because they've always said that if anything ever goes wrong with our business, we'll release the code so you can continue building on it. So I think VCs are, they're very cautious people, but as soon as they know that that the code is there if anything ever goes wrong, but you're using it to validate your idea, and that's kind of what they want. They want a cheap way to validate the idea. And then, I mean, if you get a load of users using your platform, they'll go, well, yeah, of course we'll fund you to go and build it on, native iOS, Android, JavaScript, CSS, whatever.
Yeah. And I think VCs are starting to wake up to that. In fact, back 3-4 years ago, when we were first pitching them on Bubble and trying to convince them that this was a wise move for us to use Bubble. Again, like I said, 80% of them were totally fine with it. And they said, yeah, smart move, get a product out there quickly. If Bubble fails, I mean, obviously if you have funding, hiring a dev team to hurry and rebuild it is a drop in the bucket. It's not a big deal. So what matters is execution. What matters is product market fit, all those things that I think sometimes we have a dream to build on Bubble, but we forget that it's not going to pay the bills unless we find that product market fit, and we figure out how to build a business that clients are going to take out their wallets for,
100%. And there's a reason that I don't know if you guys know the Globe, which was basically the precursor to Facebook. The Globe, which was one of the early Silicon Valley social networks, couldn't scale because they couldn't do pictures, they couldn't do video, and it crashed. Mark Zuckerberg only came up with Facebook because he found a really technical, innovative way and he started with Wirehog and then integrated into Facebook, and he only found that way to do pictures and things like that. No one on Bubble is doing anything which is technically innovative. They are finding a new way to do something that the market isn't doing. So you shouldn't really be worried about the code or the technical side, because that's, unless you're working for a high-tech data science company, which Bubble will never support, you're building something because you have an idea of a way to do something that is not currently being done in that way. So, and that's what you should focus on. And the idea of focusing on the tech isn't there. It's just you can go to India and outsource your development incredibly cheap if you get a shitload of users. And that's the great thing about Bubble, is that at the point in which it becomes unsustainable financially, if you get to that point, there will be people knocking down your door to fund you, because if you get to that point, you've clearly got something that's caught on.
Yep. Good point. And that reminds me, one time I was in this San Francisco WeWork office with a good friend of mine who was
there's a business that's going wrong.
Yeah. But anyways, I was sitting with a friend of mine who was also part of the AngelPad cohort, and he had gone through Y Combinator and AngelPad and gotten several rounds of funding, and he looked at me and he said, "Do you realize how valuable you are?" And I knew what he meant. It wasn't how valuable I am; it was how valuable Bubble is. And I said, "What do you mean by that?" And he says, I pay an outsourced overseas dev team $30,000 every month to build my product. And you're telling me that you built all this by yourself?" And I was like, yep, but I wish I could toot my own horn and say it was me, some super genius, but it's not me. It's Bubble. Bubble is amazing.
John, we're not streaming on Facebook right now, are we?
We're not, but we're recording. Okay. So
no, that's fine. So my day job, I work for a data science and development company. We have developers in Malta, where it's really cheap. We hire developers in Spain, everything. The amount we charge just to do a investigate phase, which is basically scoping or build something, you're looking at something like a £30,000 a month run rate to build a decent sized marketplace app for maybe 12 months. Yeah. The idea that you can build that on Bubble, you can test it. If no one comes, then what have you lost? Maybe even if you subscribe to the middle tier, $500 a month, you might have lost $4,000. Yep. If you tried to build that, you would have lost 40, 50, 60,000 pounds just trying to build it. And that's what's so great about Bubble, is that it gives you that opportunity to test your idea. If it goes wrong, then you've lost a small amount of money. Maybe, okay, a medium to amount, but you haven't lost your life savings. And if it goes well, you've put a small amount of money in and you've got people begging to fund you with users, which drives down the amount of equity you actually have to give away when you can take funding, right?
Yeah. And in my opinion, it's a win-win-win, because even if it goes wrong, you have built up a skill set that is the future.
Yes.
And you have built up the ability to now go and, I mean, worst case scenario, you become a freelancer and you make really good money building other people's dreams instead of your own dreams, you know?
Yes.
You know, it's funny. I built Revetize on Bubble. It's like completely Bubble. I mean, obviously there are some API integrations and a couple plugins and things, you know, but it's mostly Bubble. And I had a few friends and family just hear about this, like, whoa, you're not a coder, Jordan. How did you build this? You know, and I just in passing tell them. And I've had 3 or 4 freelancing gigs just off of word of mouth, just friends and family. And, you know, I used to play college football, and I had a friend from a different college football university, their defensive line coach said, hey, I need a learning suite, like a learning platform for my players. Could you build something like that for me? And so boom, money in the bank. I built it for him, you know. And I had another friend.
Every new level, someone is going to say, oh no, that's not, like, I saw the shit you were getting on. Oh no, you can't code that. But if you look at people who, when they were doing like, what is it, 1010, what's it called? The original coding, binary. People who did binary, the next language that came along that took that and went, oh, they went, oh no, that's not proper coding. That's,
yes.
And then it went up a level. And we're now at the point where people are going, oh yeah, no code, that's not real coding. But actually, you are still moving blocks of code around. It's just pre-built and you can change it as you go. There's no reason it's not real coding. It's just because you don't actually have to deal with the complexities of coding. So it means you can do it a lot quicker.
Great point. Yep. It's just another abstraction layer on top of, yeah, like you said, computers used to speak only ones and zeros, and that's it. And then they put an abstraction layer on top of that, and they made it a little bit more English, or excuse me, not only English, but
Human readable.
Human readable. Yes. Thank you, Jay. And yes. And so that was called code. And then they made another abstraction layer. And, you know, when iOS Swift came out, people were just screaming, oh, this is amazing to develop iOS apps so much quicker. And it's just so much more efficient, you know, but it was still using code, you know? And yeah, this is just another abstraction layer. The computer still speaks ones and zeros, but we just, we tell it to speak ones and zeros in a lot more friendly, user-friendly, developer-friendly way. So yeah, agreed.
Right, I have a.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Brittany.
I was gonna ask. I have a question about like beta testers, and you know, you were saying that you went with the Angel Pad company, but I know you said you had a few users and stuff before then. How do I go about getting the word out and, you know, grabbing up some beta testers to have some kind of, you know, presence?
Yeah, that's the phase I'm in now too. So I'm also super interested in your response.
Yeah. That's a really good question. And I guess the true answer is it totally depends on what market you're trying to penetrate.
It's a good answer.
Yeah. But for us, you know, and here's an extension of the true answer. You've got to find pain. People don't like vitamins. Well, I mean, they do, right. but they love painkillers. So don't be a vitamin.
Right.
Don't be a vitamin, be a painkiller. So find the pain, frame it as the pain, and heal their pain, ease their pain somehow. Whether it's the pain of you know, relationships, or the pain of money, or the pain of, I remember reading a book by Russell Brunson. It's super good, where he talked about every product that's ever been sold has solved one of 3 pains. And he said it was either relationships or financial, or now I'm trying to remember the third one. But the point is, solve a pain. So find a pain and solve it. If you want to first find users, become become your perfect user. Find out who they are, where they live, what they do, what age range are they, what do they like, what do they view on social media, what YouTubes do they watch, who are they, really dive into who they are, and then go there and become one of them. And like for us, for example, we knew that online reputation was critical. And that's what one of the pains we were trying to solve. And so the first client we got was our own accountant. We were doing a call with our accountant and we said, hey, do you struggle with online reviews? We noticed on your page that you had several, 1-star reviews. We can help with that. And he literally didn't even look at our software. He said, yep, here's my credit card. And he was our first client. He paid us, I think it was $1,000 for a year upfront.
Well, I think that says so much about no one cares how it's built or how you've done it. They just care about the value it's going to bring to them. I'd love to start. I've noticed we've got Thomas on here who usually has a lot to say. So, are you there, Thomas? It'd be great to hear from you.
Yeah, just tune in, man. I appreciate it. But I mean, just agreeing with what Jordan was saying, just get out there. Like Jay, like I can sense that you're a bit hesitant about getting your product out there because
Yeah, of course.
You don't want to hear that it's not what they want, right? No one wants to hear that. But
No, I'm more afraid that it's gonna break.
Whatever it is, whatever you fear, it's better to go in than to go out because you're not gonna. It's gonna be very difficult to actually bring a product into the world if you're not willing to go through that.
Yep.
Right.
And
yeah,
get
my
feedback.
first one stalled. I have another app that I think is actually a serious moneymaker, but I got to it's to help real estate agents update their business Facebook pages and Instagram accounts using text instead of leaving a voicemail instead of typing. So it's pretty close to done, except that I got stuck at the Facebook API and I have not been able to find any help.
Jay,
What?
don't do goldfish, huh? I'm so glad that you moved on to Garden Brain.
Why?
Garden Brain is such a good idea and it has such an amazing niche.
Garden Brain's going to launch in a week, and then I'm going to be iterating, but also looking for something else.
No, don't move. Garden Brain is it's such a niche. It's an affluent community. Stick with that, Jay. I'm so glad when I heard you moved on to Garden Brain because it's such a good idea. The real estate one, real estate agents will always be calling people up and listening to their voicemails. Garden Brain is such a good idea compared to that one.
Well, that's encouraging.
I feel like you've been working on Garden Brain long enough that I can be honest with you and tell you that. But Garden Brain is such a good idea compared to Goldfish or whatever it was.
Or whatever it's called.
What
thank
was
you,
it called?
Calum. That is encouraging.
Is it Goldfish? Did I get it right?
Yeah, it's called Goldfish Social.
Okay,
Goldfish
I did.
Social.
And we all have our opinions, but really what matters is what the market thinks. So you gotta, worst case scenario, you give out 10 free logins and you say, hey, could you please test this and give me your honest feedback on how it works, how it helps you? I will never charge you a dime, but could you please tell me how much you would pay for something like this if you were a real client, and just get feedback. And the beauty of Bubble is you can iterate quick. If people say, I'd really love for it to be this, that's one of the compliments we got at Revetize is one of our users told us on a phone call, hey, this platform, it feels like it was built by a business owner who knows my problem and who knows what I'm feeling and needing, not some dev, across the world that isn't in tune with what I want, and that was a real compliment, because we were in their shoes. We knew the thirst for online reputation and referrals and things, and we knew how to get them quick. And so, and we tried to really cater to our users' desires. So really all that matters is what your users think. So get a bunch of beta testers or
that's what I mean, Jay, you've got such a niche market that there's people out there who want to use it. I mean, look, okay, you've got me, you've got Jordan, you've got Brittany, you've got Thomas, you've got Kim on the call. Pitch Garden Brain to us, because it really, even if we're not gardeners, the idea of having a social network or a network for people who are interest in a certain topic is such a good idea. But I genuinely, there's definitely legs on it.
Honestly,
I don't know why no one's done it before. You know, the knitting community has it, other communities have it. And gardening is a huge, huge bunch of people. And if you don't garden, you know someone who does. There's a gazillion people who garden.
Yeah.
So I think that is great. So, and as you know, I plan to monetize it through ads. I'm not going to charge for use. And so the next challenge, soon as I launch, the next step I start working on is an advertiser's marketplace where they can buy ads and have them display. And that I'm actually going to approach in the sensible way and scope it out. Garden Brain has been an exercise in exploration. I didn't know what I was going to build when I started. I just knew it was going to be for gardeners. Boom, done. Let me get started. One reason it took so long, I refactored the database 3-4 times. Yeah, I made a lot of changes. The advertising marketplace, I don't want to do that. That's got to be a step-by-step, because that's my mortgage. That's my grocery bill. You know, I can't risk that.
Yeah.
So that is going to be a different game. And that'll be the next bunch of questions I start having in about a week and a half, 2 weeks.
But
And
Jay,
if I may,
sorry, just quick. That's the great thing about your app. So, and this is something that I'm trying to do on my app as well. When people, the thing that Facebook can do is say who a person is and market to that person. They cannot say what mood that person is in when they visit their app, because they could be looking for family, they could be looking for dating, they could be looking for friends, whatever. When people come to Garden Brain, they are in a gardening mood and they want to think about gardening, which gives the idea of you advertising gardening products, gardening services, whatever it is, that extra value, even above a company like Facebook, because people, when they're on your app, are only there because they're thinking about gardening at that time. So there is a special connection when you advertise I have no idea what gardening products are, but some gardening product to them.
Hoe. Advertise a hoe.
Please, Jay, do not say that, otherwise I'm going to say something inappropriate.
not that kind, Calum.
Well, some gardening group in Western New York actually got whatever they call it, Facebook jail, because someone in their gardening group was talking about a certain type of hoe. I'm actually going to reach out to the person who runs that group and ask them if they want to move over to our.
I love my green fingered hose.
Jay, I, if you don't mind, I'll just say something that you may hate, but here's the truth. You were scared that it will break. I can almost guarantee you it will break.
I know.
But that's a good thing, because you'll just keep iterating and you'll keep optimizing, and your users will reach out and say, hey, this isn't doing this, or hey, this isn't working the way it's supposed to. And you'll just be so motivated to just get it done, and I can't advocate this, but I spent so many nights till 4 a.m., just fixing stuff and optimizing things, and just, I definitely can't advocate that lifestyle. It took a toll in other ways, but I mean,
what was do you have any, what kind of things broke when you released Revetize to your betas?
Oh, there's still to this day, things break every now and then, like bugs are
you
in
can
it.
Just say everything.
Yeah. And one of my favorite things is when Google or Facebook or Microsoft or Apple has a bug, because it just makes me feel better. It's like, okay, if the 700 dev team at Google, 700 people dev team, or it's probably more than 700. If the thousands of devs at Google can create a bug, I can too, so it makes me feel
hit the big time when you're creating bugs.
Yeah. Bugs happen, and you find them and you discover them. And honestly, that's the best way to learn. It's just crunch time happens and a bug is created, and that lesson sticks with you for sure, and you'll never make that same mistake again. And honestly, sometimes it's Bubble's fault, and you'll email them and you'll be angry, and you'll try and be nice in your email, and you'll say, hey, please fix this for me quick. My users are, or I have an investor pitch tomorrow. I've got to have this fixed.
Oh my God, that would be horrible.
Yeah.
And so when you started getting your first bunch of users, did they give you much input on what they would like to see, how to grow your app?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. And that's it's a double-edged sword because it's valuable, golden valuable. But if you haven't defined your niche, which you have done amazingly with, it sounds like Garden Brain for gardeners. I mean, that is a great niche. And that's another thing I would highly recommend is find your niche and don't deviate from it until you've really dominated that niche. Like, for example, Amazon, they started selling books and that's all they did. And they got really good at it. And then they sequentially moved. They didn't in parallel try to be everything to everyone. If you're everything to everything, if you're everything to everyone,
You're
then you're
nothing to anyone.
yeah, exactly. So yeah,
just to add to that, the best thing about Amazon was when Jeff Bezos decided to found it. He said, "What is the best product I can sell, which comes in standard packaging and is the easiest thing to sell?" There is nothing wrong with having that amazing vision of I want to sell everything.
yeah,
Find a way to get there.
yeah,
And he said, "Books. That's the way I'm doing it." That's the amazing thing about what Jeff did. It's not that he just started a bookshop and then it went viral, because that's not what happened. He said, "What's the easiest and simplest thing that I can sell?" And then went from there. And I think you've done such a great job on that, Jay, with Garden Brain, because you start with gardeners, you then move on to landscape companies, you then move on to people, outdoors people. There's such a big route for expansion from where you've chosen to go. Yeah. That's why I was so glad when you moved away from the goldfish one.
Everyone hated goldfish but me.
Not hated, but there were so many integrations. It wasn't even bubble anymore.
It was so much. It was my first bubble project, and it was easy until it was hard, and then it got really hard really fast.
And then it was very, very, very difficult with all the SMS and the email. And Garden Brain is fantastic. I'm so glad you moved on to it. It's a really good idea.
I still love the idea, though. Like, I think that we need to get digital communications into people's hands when they're not at the keyboard. And the idea of using voice, I can think of so many ways to use voice to improve any number of processes in businesses, whether they're large or smaller enterprise. I really want to get there, but I really have not.
Jay, look at me.
Garden Brain. Don't worry. That's what's happening.
Right. And I agree with Jay, because I have a like she said, your app breaks down. So upcoming, there's a craft event coming where a lot of people are going to be there, and I'm trying to get my app at least to be able to get beta testers at this craft event. And I'm so nervous because it's like, okay, it's not complete, but I just want to get the word out, and this would be the perfect time. And the reason being for this craft, my process for making this app is I have an Etsy shop, and I've had it for years, and I keep closing it because it's just too much for one person to handle. Like, I make good money from it, but it's just a lot on one person. I'll be up for hours and hours in the night just trying to get my items out to my customers, just because it's just me. And so I asked my sister to help, and I was like, you know what, it would be great just to have some extra help without having to have employees. Like, I don't want to hire anyone, I just need a little bit of help. And so that's what made me come up with this idea. So if I can get this app out, and I'm trying to figure out ways like to get investors and stuff like that, and be able to actually present the idea to Etsy, because if my app works, then you'll get more shop owners. Like, it'll work for us both. You'll continue to have people bringing in money to Etsy, and then it'll help my app bring in money as well. So I'm just trying always.
So before that show, how long do you have till the show?
It's in September.
You got lots of time. So instead of trying to finish your app, instead figure out what the heart of your app is, like the thing that is most impressive, that shows the value proposition best, and get that part working really well, looking great.
Yes.
And then just tell them what else you're going to do.
Okay.
Yes.
Brittany, just a quick question, Brittany. Do you have a list of people who are exhibiting at that show?
You said, do I have a list of who all are going to be at, like, sponsored?
So
Whoever your market is.
Yeah, no, but you have a list of people who are exhibiting specifically that show, because there's no reason why you can't call those people up or email them saying, by the way, I know you're doing this show. I know a lot of orders come from shows and it's very difficult to deal with them very quickly. Why are you looking for extra capacity? Because that's exactly what my website does or my app does, and drawing towards it that way.
Right. I never thought about doing it that way, but
You
yes,
can- You
there
can
are-
also reach out to them ahead of time and ask to meet up with them and schedule coffee. That's what
Right.
enterprise technology companies do when they're out to sell at shows.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great
but
idea.
but that's enterprise, and I feel like small retailers who are on Etsy don't have the money to either fly across the US to talk to people. Like, if you could say, look, oh wait, I'm here. Here's a Zoom link. Let's have a quick chat.
Right.
Talk about
Yeah.
how we can expand your capacity. If anything comes of this show, then we're here. Oh, if nothing comes of it, you don't have to pay anything. But if
Yeah.
it does, here's the extra capacity. So if you take 100 orders because your product is amazing, don't
Mhm.
worry about it. We're there to cover you.
Right.
That is a really good pitch.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. You guys are wise people.
Yeah. Really.
Can
Yeah,
I
for
show you
real.
guys my pitch?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I mean, we're not streaming on Facebook for this one, so I'm going to show you. I mean, I'm like halfway through building it, and it's probably not even in the right order, but I'm going to do it because, I mean, fuck it, why not?
Oh, slide deck. I like it.
I know, right? It's even named the pitch deck. I feel
Pitch
like I'm
deck,
missing
yeah.
a slide, but who cares? So this is One Life. Can you guys still see me, by the way? Because I'm
Yes.
Yeah.
You can. That's fantastic. So this is One Life. It's the world's first purpose-built super app for the new connected world. For a long time, we've had Facebook, Twitter, Amazon, Etsy, but they're all separate apps. And if you look at China and what they're doing with their Chinese firewall, where they only have one app, and that's WeChat and Weibo, they've really nailed that market by having one app that does everything. One Life is the world's first purpose-built super app that combines the best of the features that the world's social, business, education, e-commerce, entertainment, and news apps all into one fully integrated platform. The vision of One Life is to build a connected, integrated, fully self-contained mobile app used by billions across the globe. Now, I know that's a really massive statement to start with, but the One Life platform itself has, we're going to skip that one, it has multiple apps on it. We have Worldwide, which is kind of like a Twitter forum. Now, if you look at Twitter, Twitter is everyone's outward-facing personality. You don't post anything on there that's personal because everyone can see it. Now, Worldwide on One Life is there specifically just to give you a voice to show what you're interested in, whether you're protesting something, whether you want to share the birth of a new child, whether you want to share the fact that you're at an event. That's what Worldwide is there for. But the point of
Calum,
One Life,
sorry. I'm sorry. Could you click that? Got it. There's something in the way.
Yeah, we're seeing your live captions and subtitles.
oh, that's terrible. How are you seeing that? Because I'm seeing something very different. I'm
Click
seeing
Oh, it's gone.
It's
gone.
No, but I've got a laptop, and like, can you see everyone else on the screen there? And the
No,
preview
now it's perfect. Now I can just see the current slide and the next slide.
all the apps. Talk about ambitious.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's very bad that I'm the only one seeing the actual slideshow, and you can see the next slide as well.
We're looking at
That's
the
not
apps on our platform slide,
No, but
Here,
you
I'll-
also have the next slide on the right as well, don't you?
the business
Yes.
model. I can see that. Next
Yeah.
slide.
Here's what I see. I'll send this.
No, I can see it because I've got my main screen here, and I've got my laptop on the right, and what you're seeing is the laptop on the right.
Oh, okay.
That's annoying. Anyway, fuck it, let's go ahead. And then, so Worldwide is like Twitter, but obviously Twitter doesn't have groups or events or anything like that. It's just what you're posting. Worldwide will have groups. So you might have a group for marketing professionals, or you might have a group for people who are interested in RuneScape. I don't know even, do you remember RuneScape?
Yes, I
Anyone
used to
remember
play
RuneScape?
that when I was a kid.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was saying. I used to play that when I was a kid as well. That was my childhood. So you might have people who want to join that group Worldwide. And then we have friends. Friends is a lot like what Facebook used to be. It's just for your friends. You have to accept a friend request to get past your page. You can still create groups and events and stuff, but that's only for your friends. So I'm having a party, I'm creating a group because I'm studying at college or whatever. That's what that's for. And then, as I'm sure you can imagine, workplace is a lot like LinkedIn. It's exactly the same as friends, but it's specifically for your work colleagues. The entire point of this is that you don't want your work connections seeing the stuff that you post to your friends, and you don't want the stuff that you post to your friends seeing the work stuff you post, because they're very different circles in your life. And that's exactly the same with family and community. Family, that is an even smaller community of people where you may only have your mum, your dad, your aunt, your uncles. You know, you may have gone to a wedding, you may have had a new child, and that's exactly what family is for. You post that stuff on there. You don't want your friends to see, don't want your work to see, and you don't want the rest of the world to see, but you just want your family to see it. So they're all social networks, a lot like Facebook or Twitter, but they exist in a different way because you can separate the different things between them. You have community, which is, I feel like there's another app out there that does this stuff, but I have no idea, so I'm taking it. Anyway, community, you have to be within a certain location. So I'm in Bromley. I will only be able to see posts, groups, or events that are within Bromley. So the idea is to build up your community, because I feel like we've become a very globalized society where we are connected to everything and we don't feel connected to our community around us. And since I moved here a year and a half ago, there's a Facebook group called Penge Tourist Board. And whenever something happens in Penge, which is where I live, or Crystal Palace, there's a post on it or someone's talking about it. And I feel like being connected to the community is a really important thing. And if you want to host a group for a independent business or host an event or something, that's really important too. As you can imagine, relationships is a lot like Tinder. You can swipe left, you can swipe right, you can set your criteria for who you want to match with. But there's also something above and beyond that, because apps like Hinge advertises itself on the fact that once you're done with it, you should delete it. That's a really bad business model, because you may pay for it up front, but once you've met someone, that's it. Relationships gives you the ability to swipe right, swipe left, find people, chat to people. But once you've met someone in a relationship with them, it gives you a wall or a feed where only you and the person you're in a relationship with can post to that wall. So it almost gives you like a feed of your relationship. And somewhat, you know, your partner may post something, oh, I was on holiday with my partner, and you might post, oh, that's the happiest day of my life. This is when they, you know, proposed to me or whatever. And it gives a really interpersonal relationship between those two people where no one else can see it. It's just you guys. No one, and you can't share outside of these communities. So you can't share your post from relationship to anywhere else. You can't share anything from family. You can't share anything from friends. The only place you can share posts are from worldwide, because that is something you're willing to share with everyone. You shouldn't, I feel like Facebook, if you post something on there, like, and this is the problem that Facebook had, was I've been to a party with all my mates and here's what we did. But you only want your friends to know. You don't want your future employees to know about that, employers to know about it. You don't want your family to know about that. So it creates these different social circles. Sorry, this is going on. I really need to like skim this down. Anyway, on top of that, here is the business model. We also have, so we have social apps and we have services apps. Warehouse operates a lot like Dropbox. So you can store your memories, you can store your files, you can store everything on that. We're going to be using Wasabi because it has almost exactly the same business model as Dropbox. We won't make any money on it to start with, but it still gives a place people can store their stuff for the same price as Dropbox. So if they have it all in one app, why wouldn't you store it in the same place? And the good thing about Warehouse is you can share anything out from there. So, hey, I remember this picture from 3 years ago. I thought I'd share it. You can click share and it will share directly to worldwide, friends, workplace, family, community, or relationship. You can share it directly from there. Business, it acts partly like LinkedIn, but it's different because it's not the social aspect. So you have business news that shows up when you first go onto it. Then you have workplace reviews. So you can either review a place that you've worked at before or somewhere you've bought from. So it acts sort of like Glassdoor. And it also has your CV, where you can create your CV, export it to a PDF, and then send it to any business that you want to apply to. It also has, and this is the way we're doing it at the moment, which is we're linked in with Indeed. So we receive job adverts from Indeed, and people can search through job adverts, find the one they want, click on it, and then go to that site. Ultimately, we'd like to be able to have our own job listings, but in order to get off the ground, we're just going to have one supported from Indeed because it fills up the content we need. Streams, I'm just going to move on quickly because I've been talking for a long time. It's YouTube. You can upload anything you want. You can play it, you can like it, you can share it, you can comment on it, and you can share it to any of the social apps. Newsroom, we bring in news feeds from multiple different news agencies. We use the RSS function, which most people think is outdated, but it actually still works because we just link preview everything that comes from the news network. So we have BBC, BBC Sport, we have ITV, any news place that you want it, you can add that thing to your list and it will show a overview of the news for today. And then finally, this is probably the most important one, is the mall. Currently, we are using a drop shipping site to run the mall. It has a shitload of different products on there, lifestyle, electronics. I don't need to go through it anyway. It has a shitload of different options on there to buy. The idea behind One Life, and this was the slide that is really missing, using worldwide family, friends, we can advertise to people to generate interest in something. Once we understand that there is interest in a product or a service, we can then advertise specifically to that product or service. And then we can advertise it and draw it specifically to the mall where the person can purchase it or purchase the product or the service. The idea is, unlike Facebook, which is there to generate interest, or Google, which is there to search for certain services or products, or Amazon, which is there to buy the service or products, we can do it all in one app. And that is the USP of One Life. The business model is that we'll have the e-commerce side, which I've just explained. We have the advertising side, and we have the storage side. That is what we're going to launch with. And those are the three areas that we're going to make money from. So storage in the same way Dropbox does, advertising for advertising products, linking out to other sites initially, but ultimately linking to e-commerce sites within One Life. Yeah, I mean, you can ignore this because I have no idea how much money I'm trying to raise. But yeah, I'm looking for a marketing director, a software developer, and a financial and legal director. And we are going to acquire our users by using social media existing accounts. So people who get pissed off because they post something controversial on Facebook and ultimately need somewhere to post what they actually think on One Life. Our policy for posting on One Life is, as long as it's not illegal, you can post whatever you want. We'll use paid advertising on Google, Facebook, Twitter, anything else. And we'll also use word of mouth. I'm planning on very much using CoCreative NoCode to find people to use my platform. And then we'll also use influencer marketing. Influencer marketing is massive at the moment. You can post whatever you want. Obviously, the problem is at the moment that we can't monetize content, and we'll be able to monetize content going forwards. But at the moment, it's not something we can do. So that's why it's at the bottom of the list. And yeah, give me shit and tell me why my idea is bad. I need improvement.
Way too long.
It's hard to
Way too
explain the it does so much. It's hard to explain it without losing people.
I'll put it this way.
How do you explain Facebook? Like, it's so big. Like, I need a way of, I'd love to hear your ideas of how you explain a massive concept in one thing.
Have users.
Don't go into so many details about each of your pieces, like e-commerce, business, whatever. Give it a one line on each.
It sounds like you're trying to sell the idea instead of allowing the idea to sell itself.
Okay, can you go into that a bit more?
It sounds like you're trying to put a lot of zazz behind your pitch to capture attention, but the idea is not really big. It's not like I totally missed it because there was just a lot of talking and my attention span is very short. So
maybe more, a little more time spent on the problem being solved.
I need a really succinct pitch. So just, I mean, please don't worry about offending me. Just tell me why it's bad.
Can you get any statistics on fatigue people have switching between apps, or how having multiple apps is a problem for advertisers? I would start with the problem in a nutshell, and I mean a really little a pistachio nutshell, not a walnut shell.
The problem people have.
And then your solution, which is that slide with the many things. You don't need to describe them all in detail, like we all know about why people use dating apps. But, so just a sentence on each, or in a short sentence. The average sentence is 24 words. If you can get it down to less, that'd be awesome. And you don't have to explain, I don't think, all of them, because like we know what relationship apps do and we know what friends are, but maybe more on the things that are less obvious, like the business one.
So do you think that it's weird because I created the business slide saying this is the reason why it's disappeared. But when I said this is where we'll make money using that end-to-end flow from generating interest to consumer, if I put that first and then said this is how the app fits into this, would that be more interesting?
I don't know. I'd have to see that, but I think that you could take the details of each of your revenue lines, business, education, whatever, and you can put them later if people want to know more. So they're optional.
Got it.
What's the main difference like between what you are offering and between what every other company is offering? Like, is it just a one-stop shop? Is that what it's supposed to be?
So if you look at, I don't know, are you familiar with Weibo in China?
Just by name, and I know what it is, but
that like the state-run like application, social media.
Yeah, so it's a state-run social media. You can pay with it. You can search for product. They don't have Amazon over there. They don't have Facebook. They don't have Twitter. So everything is done through this one app. The idea being is that if we can bring together all of the apps that currently exist in one way, we can collect so much data on people. We can make the marketing platform so valuable, and also pick up on the purchasing side. So effectively Amazon, because all Amazon does is collects money from the actual purchase. They don't actually do anything to influence the purchase to get people to do it. Facebook does that. Google does that. If you can put it all in one app and generate interest, market to get them to purchase something, and then collect money from purchase, you're collecting money at all stages of the purchase process. Whereas currently you only do one on each platform. That's the idea behind it.
To me, in theory, it sounds like an amazing idea, and in practice, it's going to be really hard to. I feel like there's either two outcomes. It's either going to flop or it's going to take over the world. You know what I'm saying? I guess it's tough for me to see the pain that's being solved that isn't already being solved by all the other apps. So it's just I guess if there was some way to, I'm trying to think of a way you could frame the pain, or I guess how would you describe the pain that you're healing or solving?
So this is the difficulty. It's very difficult to frame the pain that the user is experiencing, but the pain that the business is experiencing, having to pay for Google, for Facebook ads to generate it, Google ads to get the search results, and then Amazon to buy the product. That is very real. So I see companies driving people towards this platform because it's all done in one place, and it's cheaper to do it all in one place than paying 3 different companies to do it. My problem,
I can see the benefit,
is getting consumers to realize why it's the great option.
Yeah. And I can see what you're saying. I can see the benefit to a business owner, advertiser. I think the only struggle is it all depends on getting hordes of people, thousands of people on it, because obviously a social network is only as valuable as the amount of the users it has. Yeah. So there's got to be some way to hook them in. What's going to cause me to leave Facebook, leave LinkedIn, leave all these other places and join live? And please don't get me wrong. I'm not criticizing your idea. I think it's,
mate, like too many people that you meet don't want to offend you and are nice about your idea. I would rather someone rubbish my idea so I know what things I have to fix than I pretend that it's all great and then launch it and spend a shitload of money on it and waste it. A real friend will tell you why it's a shit idea so you can fix it.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah. And I agree totally. Definitely better to be candid than just a yes man or whatever. But
Would you rather I be honest or pretend, right?
What's that?
Would you rather I be honest or pretend, right?
Yes, honest, exactly. 100%. Yes, totally. So yeah, I feel like it is a totally world-changing idea, but getting there is going to be a real uphill battle.
So,
And
so
when you first started your, oh, sorry, go ahead.
So I was going to say the thing that I want to use to draw people towards it is that the only content restrictions that I will observe are legal ones. Unlike Facebook, where I'll remove something because it doesn't fit our community policy, I will only ever remove something from the platform if it is illegal in the country that you posted it. That is the selling point. So
that has a real hook, and you've seen some of these companies pop up. What are they called? I'm trying to remember now. Parlor and a few of these others.
A bunch.
That is a hook for a real niche that could really resonate with, and maybe you start there as your beachhead market. You start there and you get that user base, and then maybe you can find a way to get the rest of the world. But there is a niche out there that cares about being able to have free speech and unlimited, so maybe you use that as your hook. I don't know.
Honestly, less times pitching, more time going to places like meetups, like social meetups, and being like, this is a product I have. I will pay you $5 or $10. I just want to get your feedback really quickly. Let me know if this is solving a problem of yours, because I don't know, the problem isn't accessibility, because there is accessibility there and it's everywhere. And the problem, I don't think there's really no frustration in regards to keeping everything in one place. People don't, I don't mind going from Twitter to Facebook to Instagram. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that can't be the problem. You got to find a different problem.
I think
if you have a group on Facebook that has 100,000 members, if you post something to your group, that is only going to reach 5% of your members because of Facebook's algorithm. The algorithm we use means that we will post whatever you post to the feed because you have posted it, and that person's signed. Who are we to tell you what you should or shouldn't see? You've subscribed to this group, therefore you're going to see all the content. If it's annoying content, you'll unsubscribe from it. That's not our job to tell you what you should or shouldn't see.
Yeah, and that
you want to find groups like political groups, usually groups that are tight knit, and then go to them, because these are usually the sorts of people that don't want their information being cut off, right? They really care about the freedom of speech, libertarians such as that jazz, depending on how you feel about it. But there are groups out there who take their voice and their word very seriously, and they find it hard doing so in places like Facebook, where they're constantly censored, or even Twitter. That might just be the problem, is freedom of speech. You can say whatever.
I find it amazing that Facebook and Twitter hide behind. I can't, and I'm not even going to. There's the law in the US which says platforms are exempt from being responsible for what is posted on their platform. It's something 204 or something like that. They are exempt for being responsible for what is posted on their platform because they are a platform and they are not a publisher. If you post something on a newspaper that says go raid the Capitol, then the newspaper is responsible. But if you post it on Facebook, it's fine because it is an equal platform. The thing I struggle with is, but Facebook moderate and mediate what gets posted on their platform, which effectively makes them a publisher because you're choosing what can or cannot exist on your platform. The idea behind One Life is that you can post anything you want on there. Unless it breaks the law, you can post anything, and that's what we'll let you do. We have no leaning left or right, but that's why you would sign up. That is the only solution to a problem. Or, excuse me, you've outlined several solutions to problems that business owners have that are really good, but none of them, other than that, resonate with the consumer, resonate with the user, which is what you need to make it valuable to the business owner. Yes, exactly. So if you start with that niche and start with the niche of, because I don't know, I don't think, what is the other one? Parlor, and now I'm trying to think of the other one.
There's one called Rumble, there's one called WeChat. There's quite a number of them.
Yeah.
I think that the problem with them is that they're only going to appeal to half of the potential market because they are aligned with a party or a conservative way of thought. So if you avoid if you're not aligned with, conservative or progressive, which you're not, you're English, then right away, you're not going to have a bunch of half the United States citizens aren't going to think, yuck, that's for crazy people. And the other half don't really use it, because when you look at those things, the content is just terrible.
But,
I don't
but
mean because I agree or
think-
disagree. I mean, it's crazy stuff.
But that isn't that the problem with apps like Parler, that they have been branded as a right-wing site, therefore no one on the left wing is going to join them, and they've become a very niche site. The idea of One Life is to be an open site for anyone to post whatever they want. However, the left wing tend not to post extremist content, which would be
I don't think that's true at all, but it's just not, they're just not on those sites. And anyway, whatever, that's moot.
But no one on Parler is going on there to post left-wing content. They're going on there to post right-wing.
They would get
And that's the point.
destroyed.
Exactly, and you become a right-wing site. So how do you not take control of your users' content, but at the same time try and balance your app to make sure it's globally accepted rather than falls into one niche?
I don't think you have to worry about that, because those apps that we're talking about were like, their very foundation was because their users were getting kicked off the mainstream social media platforms. So if that's not the problem you're solving, directly, which you're not, then you're good. You're just we don't interfere platform. You be you.
But you can try to solve a problem which is inherently right-wing, even if you're not trying to appease the right wing or target right wing. You can say, well, you can say anything you want, and left wing people will go, well, we have no problem saying what we want on Facebook, but right wing will go, well, we do, so we'll come to your app. So how do you stop your app becoming a right wing app, even when it's meant to be?
There, because of the Facebook's what do they call it, community guidelines. I told you about the Ho in Western New York gardening group. There's also a
I'm still here, by the way.
A true crime group that I admit it, I read true crime. And they moved to Tapatalk because because it's a true crime discussion group, they use words like gun and murder. They kept getting what they call is zucked. And they kept getting their group shut down. So they went to Tapatalk, but nobody liked the interface because, it's horrible. And now they're kind of trying to live in this weird limbo where they've got one foot in Facebook, but then when the conversation gets more, using words that are offensive to Facebook, they take it over to Tapatalk. Nobody can follow that. So I don't think if gardening groups and true crime groups are getting shut down on Facebook, then, that's not a political issue. That's a crazy language policing issue.
That's like socioeconomic. Like I think at scale, people are very funky when they work together, and social media there's no right way of doing it. The environment's a little messy.
People are messy.
Yeah, people are messy. It's very hard to keep control. Like I've seen attempts in like crypto, and each attempt has been to fail. Like it's very hard to maintain complete freedom of speech, especially in places where first world people are becoming more sensitive, and they want to acknowledge certain things. It's not a digital problem as much as it is a socio-economic problem, really.
But it's a weird problem though, because
That's weird.
But it's like, can you solve it digitally? That's the question. And if you can, how much time do you have to dedicate to solving something very difficult like that? Very difficult, like tangibly to capture that amount of a market.
It's weird though, because theoretically, Facebook is doing something illegal. You should not be able to moderate someone's speech based on your community guidelines instead of what the law says, because theoretically you're then not a platform, you're a publisher.
Yeah. So to me, the clearest path to victory, in my opinion, that I see for you is really resonating with the problem of the consumer, not the business. The business owner is the ad spend and all that is how you'll make money eventually. But for a social network to work, you got to have a lot of social, you got to have a lot of people. So, and in order to get the people there, you've got to really resonate and get them to believe that some pain in their life is being solved. And I think it is going to be hard to not turn into maybe a right wing or maybe I don't know. And maybe that's maybe if that's the path to victory, maybe, and if you're okay with it, maybe you do that. I don't know.
I mean,
But-
that's the thing. I have no problem with it, the users are, but I only have a problem if it affects the business impact. And I think I mean, if you have a massively left-wing site, right-wing users are going to come on there to piss the left-wing people off. But if you have a right-wing site, left-wing people are just going to ignore it because they don't want an argument. And I feel like the advantage of One Life is that the algorithm we use to rank posts in terms of what's trending is likes are plus 0.2, dislikes are plus 0.2, likes are plus 1, dislikes are plus 1, comments are plus 0.2, and replies are plus 0.1. So we have a very legitimate way of ranking what is happening in the world, unlike Facebook and Twitter, which have their own very secret algorithms where they don't say what they're prioritizing and they don't say what they believe people should know. So if we publicize the way that our algorithm works, and that, you know, whether you dislike something or like something, it's something that's happening in the world, therefore it's very important. And by the way, shares have the highest rating, because if you're going to share something, it means that you agree with it and you're going to agree with it publicly. That means that, you know, that should be more important. So I think if you publicize that rating system, that gives you a USP across right-wing, left-wing, centrist, because it means whatever your opinion is, as long as the majority of people agree with it, you will be the top ranked post.
Yeah.
We can prophesize, but like you have a better bet just getting your product in front of somebody as soon as possible, as quickly as possible.
Very true.
Don't waste time trying to philosophize what you can't see.
You sound like Tonya. Calum, I've known you for a year. Just fucking launch.
Yeah, it's just like get it out there. Like at the end of the day, you're serving customers, right? You're not serving your investors. So like focus on your customers. They're the ones that are really going to make you money. Investors are really just there to get a gain off of you, you know, in the
Kind of true, but the way to attract customers now on a social network is to be able to advertise in other places. So to be able to do that, you have to have investors who are willing to back the idea, right?
Yeah, but like Bubble, like they didn't take any investment until they actually established a pretty strong community and a strong user base. And
yeah, but then they're not a social network. They don't rely on users.
What do you mean they don't rely on users?
Well, I mean they have, I think they're now probably 1 million users who have signed up to their site, but they only rely on maybe 100,000 users who've actually paid for a paid plan on Bubble. There's probably 90–80% of people who've signed up for Bubble who are not on a paid plan. So they only rely on making money from the 10–20% who've actually paid for it.
But the point is that they established a business through user feedback driven method where, you know, they had a community, they kept getting feedback and they kept iterating until they felt safe enough that they said, okay, we'll take an investment because at this point we need to grow. So it's just, I think it's really nice to hear about investors throwing money here left and right, and it could be very easy to get seduced by that, but it's just a dangerous path to go by. Ideally, you know, you want to, I'm no expert here, but like, don't focus on that initially, you know, who am I?
No, I agree.
That's really where the money is. And that's, you know, if you look at some of the richest men on earth, Jeff Bezos, for example, his is, if you just reading through his shareholder letters, everything is customer centricity. Everything is user. It's not a competition or competitive approach. It's all user. So I think it's a hard approach to take. And I'm still learning about it myself, obviously, but you'll save yourself so many headaches. And I think doing is less taxing than thinking.
Oh no, by the way, the only reason I'm thinking is because I haven't managed to finish building my platform yet. Like, it has been through so many iterations. It's incredible, like insane amounts.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got the sales down. Like you talk to people. Like you're a good people person. So like, just get out there, get your product out there, talk to people, get them using it. Like, you have an advantage that most people building things don't have. You know, so.
No, I agree. I think I need to get it out in front of people, and
you'll probably feel really good about yourself too. I mean, I'm sure it's scary for all of us, but you'll probably feel really good getting out there and just getting that product in their hands.
Yeah, just getting in front of people is the important thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's pretty amazing what you built, though. I mean, regardless, I think the go-to-market strategy is going to be you're going to have to, it's going to be a little tricky and you're going to have to nail it. But like Thomas said, yeah, just get it out there and get feedback and figure out what niche works and run with it. But in any case, the technical side is pretty awesome what you built. So congratulations on that.
Nice, man. I appreciate it.
And
Yeah.
that's like best part about this is that you can carry this off, whatever you learn the next project. Like you're learning.
Oh shit, man! Like I have learned so much from this. Like,
Oh yeah.
it was so far behind when I started this. It's just, yeah, it's incredible where we're at now.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool.
You guys inspired me during this conversation. I'm working on a subcontractor app. So I ended up reaching out to one of the bidding managers for another company here. And I was like, hey, I want to kind of understand what the problem is because I don't think I have a grasp of the problem. And so I started asking him, like, what are the biggest issues dealt with when outsourcing? And he pretty much told me outright what I wanted to hear. What I didn't want to hear, but what I should have heard a long time ago is that outsourcing projects between subcontractors isn't really the problem. The problem is manpower, is having, once a contract has been won, having enough people from the subcontractor side to do the job. And a lot of it is because payment is delayed by 3 or 4 months, and that holds a small business down. Anyways, I can get into this later, but feedback.
That's awesome. Yeah. Good. Nice work. That's great.
But getting feedback on your app is just, yeah, everyone thinks like you'll build it and they'll come, but then you don't realize how important it is to just get feedback on even the earliest iteration of what you've done.
I think it's because we latch our hearts to our ideas, and if we can maintain flexibility, which is really hard even for me, obviously anybody, it's like it's easier to jump from one thing to the next, you know. But when you fixate on perfection, the more you fixate on perfection, the less likely your product will actually come to fruition.
Yeah.
Who was it who said, if you're not mortally embarrassed by your MVP, then you launch too late?
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard that.
You know, there's so much advice out there like that, which sounds really pithy and wonderful in a nutshell, but I think a lot of it, you know, has some truth, but it isn't the whole story.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. You definitely want something that'll get some initial traction, but yeah, the whole point of an MVP is minimum viable product, and it has to be viable. So it's that balance. Yeah, it's the minimum product I can possibly make, but it also has to be viable. So
And that's the thing. I feel like those people only made those comments after they launched their app and they were happy with it, and then went, "Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed by what I first did." Like, it wasn't that they were like, "Oh no, I've launched this and I think it's shit." But I feel like they did it and then realized it was bad. But yeah.
yeah. Oh, well, this has been a good discussion. You guys are all wise individuals. I am excited to see where your businesses go.
Well, we'll see. We're not the ones who've had meetings with Sequoia, so.
Well, we failed there. They didn't fund us. So.
We got the meeting.
We got the meeting.
Did you end up getting funding?
Yeah, we got some funding, but we didn't take near as much as we were hoping originally, because intentionally we decided, you know what, we don't want to answer to a bunch of VCs.
Yeah.
We want our lifestyle business.
Yes.
So we're making money. Why do we need funding? Like,
Yeah.
originally we just had this epiphany. Originally we thought we had to get funding if we wanted to be a success, but
yeah.
And I guess that's true if you want to be a unicorn billion-dollar business. But if all you care about is you know, 20, 30, 40 million dollar exit or something, then you can build that bootstrapped. You know, I mean, if you do it the right way, I mean, I guess it depends on a lot of things, but that's kind of what we decided. And we decided to just become a lifestyle business. And yeah, so.
I think that's smart. I mean, once you have VCs, there goes your control. And then will you end up even in your own company?
Exactly. Yeah. And we didn't want to really answer to a bunch of VCs on a board meeting. And yeah. So for us, it just made more sense to just keep keep going organic. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like when you have an investor, it's like, all right, you have customers, now you have another baby to take care of. You got to take care of
yeah,
Jesus,
it's
like,
true.
your
Yeah.
family.
Yep, totally. So yeah, in my opinion, I mean, obviously there's certain scenarios where it makes perfect sense to raise, but in my opinion, if you can possibly bootstrap it and make it profitable that way, go for it that way. But
Have you guys watched that? I know it's getting late. I'm just gonna have to ask. There's a documentary on Netflix. I think it might be called Startup. And it's about an incubator, maybe in North Virginia or San Francisco. I don't remember. Have you
Oh,
seen it?
startup with Martin Freeman.
No, it's not. It's a documentary.
Oh no, so I think you meant startup, the Netflix show with. Martin
Yeah,
Freeman.
it's not. It's got a similar name. Startup's in the title. I think it's called Startup. You might want to check it out. But what's interesting to me about it is they show, like, I don't know, 6 businesses that enter the incubator. I'm telling you, like 4 out of 6 of these businesses look like shit to me. I'm like, this just looks like shit. Why would anybody think this is a great idea? And yet all these people are talking about how much money it's going to make. On the other hand, I never understood. I didn't buy Google when Google was brand new and cheap because I couldn't understand how you make money on a search engine.
yeah.
So my business acumen, not so sharp.
Well, no, I hear you. There are some businesses. I watched a story of Gary Vayner. I don't even know how to say his
Yeah.
last.
Oh, Gary,
Yeah.
Gary V. Yeah.
Yeah, he was offered the chance to invest in Airbnb, and he didn't even respond to them. And now it's Airbnb, and he
Yeah,
regrets
but I
it.
mean, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, what the head of Apple, what's his name?
Jobs.
No, the now
Oh.
guy, not Steve. I've completely forgotten his name. Tim Cook. That's it.
Tim Cook.
Tim Cook got offered to buy Tesla when
Yeah.
it was struggling with the Model 3, and he said no. And there's that story going around that Elon Musk asked to be CEO, but apparently that's not true. But now it's like the biggest car company in the world. Anyway, so the last thing I was going to say was this was this was the first version of One Life that I ever built, and then oh, hang on, sorry, this where are we? Yeah, that was the login screen for One Life, and it looked like shite. And now this is the One Life home screen.
Wow.
Anyone who
Looks
says
nice.
it looks like this, it looks like the Samsung home screen, doesn't it?
There are so many options to click on. It's a little overwhelming. Like, I know if I
It's a
were using it,
super
I
app.
think I might be kind of. Well, I guess you can let them pick the ones they're going to be using later, though. Like, can they get rid of any? Like, I would get rid of school and warehouse.
No, you can't get rid of anything.
That's
Thank
18
you.
choices.
No, 18. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It looks like honestly you're writing like an Android like some sort of software.
Oh, yeah, no, that's because it's the background, which isn't.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but no, you've got worldwide. You've got what is effectively YouTube, which you call
It would be
screen.
cool to figure
Oh,
out.
that's
how
only
to,
the search screen. Oh, never mind then. I don't have any problem with that.
It would be cool to figure out
NG.
how to like congregate specific users of a specific group into like an app that's specific to them. Like have this, but like all specific to that group. Have multiple versions of this. Like somehow keep people filtered out that don't belong in the group, and keep those people that belong in the group where they need to belong. Kind of like what Facebook is, obviously.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. If you go to worldwide feed and then you have events that are open to everyone. Then you have events which are, events here are open to everyone. But you can also have joining events and joining groups where you can only join them if you get accepted by them. So it's like Facebook.
Cool.
I'm going to stop sharing my screen. This has gone on for a lot longer than we usually do.
Yeah.
Well,
It was
yeah,
fun.
sorry.
No, it's been good. I've enjoyed it.
It has been good. It's been fun talking with you all. Any lingering questions or anything anyone wants to say before we adjourn?
No.
Okay.
Sidebar, Judge.
Yeah. Yeah. my uncle's a judge, so I'm just taking his lingo, I guess.
Is he actually?
Yeah, and just for his little district in Washington State. So.
Oh, so he's the one who gets all the politicians off for drink driving. And the prostitutes.
Yeah. No, he's one of the moral judges. So.
Oh, nice. By the way, Tonya just messaged me, said she's going to pop on and say goodbye to everyone.
Oh, nice. All right. I'm on her account, so hopefully I don't
I
mess
have
that
no
up.
idea how she's going to do that.
But yeah. So where are you all from? Just out of curiosity.
Baltimore.
Baltimore. Cool.
London, England.
London, Calum.
Yeah, London, England.
I've always wanted to visit there. It's cool.
You should come over, man. It's good.
I should.
I mean, it's raining and cold and shit, so you should come over.
That's cool. And where are you from, Thomas?
I'm in Philadelphia. Philly.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm from Idaho, but I live in Utah right now. So
Idaho.
Yeah.
It's beautiful out
Sounds so
there.
exotic.
there are some just the outdoorsy stuff. If you're into that, it's there's no better place to live. So it's good. Yeah.
Hunting? I know it's probably a little.
Sorry.
You do any hunting?
Yeah. I'm more of a fisher. I fish more than I hunt, but I'm getting into it. Yeah. I just bought a 30-06 and I'm getting into it. So yeah.
There's Tonya.
Hi,
Oh,
everybody.
yeah.
Thank you so much for being here, Jordan, and for running things in my absence. And I heard it was a great session from multiple people over the last 2 hours.
You've built a great culture here. You have some great people here. So nice work.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. I love everyone. And I missed you guys today. So
I told him that you think he looks like Alex Jones from InfoWars.
Yeah, I'm never coming back after that comment. Just kidding.
It may have been me who suggested that's what you look like, but
Awesome.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Well, is it time to wrap things up?
Yeah. We've gone on probably too long. Sorry about that, but
No, we don't have time limits unless somebody's got to go. So that's perfect. So thank you so much for everything. And
yeah, thank you.
yeah, and if you haven't already, go to NoCode Advantage and sign up for the masterclass with Jordan, because he's amazing, as you've seen. He's demonstrated. And yeah, we'll be back here on Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time for office hours. If you'd like to join us for a complimentary session, go ahead and send an email to team@CoCreativeNoCode.com.
and remember to smash that like button, smash the subscribe button.
Yes.
Sign up to CoCreative NoCode.
Yes, absolutely. Go to CoCreativeNoCode.com and become a member, and then you can join us all the time. So
I have also just realized we're not actually streaming on Facebook, so no one can hear this.
no, but this will be syndicated. This will be put up on YouTube. So
Oh, cool. All good.
yeah. So yeah, it was great.
Uh-oh.
Thank you,
Now,
everybody.
Callum, you have to launch whether you like it or not, Callum.
Yes, it's true.
Not another
Done.
one.
No choice.
It's been awesome seeing all you guys. Have a good night.
All right.
Have a good weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks. Bye.